for Jonathan Taylor. There he goes again. 50, 40, down the far sideline. He might do it again. 10, 5, touchdown. Indy.
The Eastern Conference Championship has been captured by the Indiana Pacers.
David Rosenquist, he wins the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Good Thursday morning. Yes, indeed. Kevin Bowen, James Boyd, Mark Dykton, us three back together. That was a fun morning yesterday for us out there at the Kroger in Noblesville. Sounded like money continued to be raised at a really, really nice level throughout the day. So thank you to all of our listeners, all of our partners, everybody that helped out in helping our neighbors out, most importantly. So a great, great morning for us up there. And James Boyd, the question of the day, you're here. And that means the Dino Nuggets must be sitting good.
Well, I actually didn't eat them last night. Left them in the freezer overnight because I didn't trust you.
You better believe I had a blue Powerade or two.
Well, that's a little
different
more
than Dino Nuggets that have been sitting out in the sun for 2 hours.
I beg to differ. They were sitting in the shade.
Oh my
for
gosh, Mark!
about
Semantics.
90 minutes. And James Boyd, that Colts complex that we go to quite often.
Yeah, you had me having to explain myself to a lot of people.
I believe that complex has been in use since year 2. Didn't they do the elementary school the first year when they moved here from Baltimore? I think they did the Fall Creek Elementary School for year 1, and then they've been over there since. So it's seen a lot. You know what? We're north of 40 years now the Colts have been in this city. I'm going to venture to guess, Mark Dykton, yesterday might have been the first time ever that someone walked through the front lobby and said to the security guard, do the Dino Nuggets go through the conveyor belt? Or should I carry these like they're my cell phone and just walk?
That would have been a situation where they're like, we need to do pat downs now. Who knows what's in that bag?
Did you conveyor belt it or did you walk with it?
No, I got a chance to walk with it. They told me that they trusted that it was just chicken.
Prized possession.
Yes, prized possession.
And it looked like it had a nice home in the old freezer.
It definitely did because it was not going to have a nice home in my hot car there for a few hours at West 56th Street.
Per usual, a busy day over there with the Colts. I would say a notable player gets cut. I'd say a notable player that is new to the Colts. Had quite a few plays yesterday on the practice field. We'll update you the latest on not only Alec Pierce, but another wide receiver that is catching the eye of Reggie Wayne. And whenever Charvarius Ward talks, it seems to be news. And he's one of the more candid players, I think, on the football team. So we'll share his thoughts and get you set for today, the final practice of the week. And again, Saturday, 1 o'clock, the preseason finale. I'm always kind of, like how deep into the weeds, James, should we get on roster cuts? Like does the common fan care about that? I'm always kind of torn on it. And I always kind of tell myself whenever we get to like this point of August, we're now 72 hours away from roster cuts.
Yeah.
I feel like it's okay to dabble a little deep into the roster. So Jake Arthur is going to join us 8 o'clock. He is someone that certainly pays grand attention to all 90 on that roster. So we'll do that a little bit here. Mark Dykton, good morning.
Good morning.
We missed you yesterday.
I know. And yet I don't see any, cinnamon rolls or any other good things you guys got there. I didn't see anything for me.
You should have seen this.
Interesting.
Carol and Gracie, they brought a tray. Homemade cinnamon rolls. Like, as soon as you saw the aluminum foil over the top, I thought to myself, that right there is going to be a problem for me.
Yeah.
Carlton dropping off the donuts. And as the show moved along, what was the best part about it is several of the drop-offs were dollar bills.
Yes. Definitely helping out.
Listener Mike, late in the show, he dropped off a big one.
Yeah. Blueface.
He dropped off a big one there. So we didn't get any poker chips like that guy did at my daughter's lemonade stand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you
if
cashed that in yet?
I have not. Can't say I've done the old solo trip down to Cincinnati. Or you imagine just a little day trip down there?
I mean, we've done day trips to Cincinnati all the time. You could stop at the casino real quick.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm not sure if poker chips really translate to Red Cross of America, but we definitely took real money and donated real money. And for those who rounded up yesterday, We appreciate you at your local Kroger's.
More news on eligibility and ineligibility when it comes to college sports.
Oh,
I
I have a
am
sharp stick in the eye.
I am exhausted by the topic. I'm just so ready to, frankly, get to week 0 here of college football. And next week when Purdue and Indiana and Notre Dame all take to the field. Indy and Marion tonight. Again, Butler action coming up this weekend. So we are inching closer to college football. Some Pacer news yesterday. You guys said opening night's not very appointment television. Appointment night for the Pacers added a little wrinkle yesterday.
Yeah, we can get into that. I still think it's not appointment television for a lot of people, but
Last year you were all about Benedict Mathurin facing his former team. Not anymore?
yeah, when he was on an actually good team. Pelicans stink.
Were the Clippers that good?
They were good for a stretch there, and then Kawhi Leonard probably didn't get a payment, and then had to bounce.
RIP to the Pro Bowl. Your
Yes.
colleague had this, Jonathan Jones.
Yes, no more Pro Bowl games. I actually like this decision. It was all gimmicky to begin with. From what I read, it still seems like they'll be invited to celebrate in person somehow. It just won't be involving actual football. But what I find interesting, you all, is that now the Pro Bowl honor will actually mean something again. And I think they should go back and retroactively keep track, or at least separate in different bins, who was actually a Pro Bowl selection and who was an alternate. Because when we look back at history, we try to judge players off of accolades, all pros, Pro Bowl selections. And the fact that Shadur Sanders and Gardner Minshew have Pro Bowl selections is ridiculous to me.
Probably a question for Mike Chappell. Do they really debate Pro Bowls in that room? I just figured it was just all pros.
I would hope not.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Because, again, Pro Bowls are skewed, as you just laid out. It basically comes down to how many Pro Bowls you get. Yes, you can be honored initially by, 1/3 fan,
Yeah.
1/3 coach, 1/3 player vote. That's the combination of it. But then it comes down to who doesn't want to play in the game and who's in the Super Bowl. So if you're James Boyd and you are the cornerback and you're the 4th alternate and the 2 cornerbacks that get chosen for the NFC are playing in the Super Bowl, and then cornerbacks, 3 and 4 don't want to play in the game, come on down. You will be introduced as a Pro Bowler when you go speak at your Romeoville High School.
You ain't earned it.
When Tyler Huntley got named to the Pro Bowl, I was like, I think we've officially jumped the shark here.
Yeah.
Is Snoop and Gardner in the same year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got
And
really
then,
desperate there.
6th alternate Shadur Sanders last year.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were that many quarterbacks that played in the AFC last year.
Tells you how many said no or we're doing better
Right.
things.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is honestly a struggle across professional sports. We did this with the NBA All-Star Game. We've debated it. I think I've said to you guys, when the Major League Baseball All-Star Game rolls around, it's probably one of the few where, it's actually somewhat halfway competitive or trying. But even then, Mark, I know you've pointed this out. You see a lot of managers kind of stagger their pitchers almost late before the All-Star break, so then they don't have to throw them in that All-Star game.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no Mizorowski, no Paul Skeens. Sorry, guys.
yeah, I think this is smart by the NFL not to force an issue. I mean, they easily could still do this. Millions of people watch the Pro Bowl. From a TV rating standpoint, makes total sense once your season is, dwindling down.
Yeah. But again, I would like to just be separated. Let me know who was a Pro Bowl alternate, and let me know who was a regular Pro Bowler. I need it for history purposes.
Just to clarify with everybody that, might be curious about it, All Pro is voted on just strictly from a media standpoint. So that's the difference you get in the voting. Again, it's a 3rd fan, a 3rd player, a 3rd coach when it comes to adding up to the Pro Bowl. And I think there are still a lot of contract incentives that are based off this stuff. So I think that's why you see it mattering and or continuing. Week 2, Operation Football, going to be tomorrow. Looks to be another nice Friday night here in the Circle City. And the Fever will get back in action. I've mentioned that the Connecticut Sun are not very good at basketball. They lost last night by 25 to the Golden State Valkyries at home. So, again, this should be a layup for the Fever coming up tomorrow night before they hit the FIBA break. And as James pointed out yesterday, it is a very, very, very jumbled playoff standing. So these games are important. You care to guess a spread for the Fever tonight or tomorrow night?
Ooh. I'm going to go 10.5.
It's might be the highest I've seen all year.
12.5.
16.5
Ooh, I might take the under on that.
for the Fever and the Connecticut Sun. Again, they lost by 25 last night to the Valkyries.
Jeez.
Colts mimicking this regular season week. What that means is today is the shortest practice of the week. It kind of has the Friday regular season feel to it. Alec Pierce, once again, still remains on the physically unable to perform list.
Were you on Gate Watch? GA.
I did my
IT?
Gate Watch back in the spring. I really haven't been on it lately. But
Okay.
I did tell you in the spring, I'm like, that man ain't moving like he usually
Yeah.
moves.
Yeah.
That's when my antennas went up a little bit. I did notice, what do you call the tape he had on there? The Kinesio tape or whatever it's called?
I forget what it's officially called, like the black tape that they kind of.
Has he always had that? I mean, again, I haven't really been
Heck,
staring
if
at
I know,
him as much
I feel
as-
like social media would tell me they notice stuff that I don't when I post a video. Either way, not practicing so far this week, Kevin, and I would not expect it to happen today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like how you would approach today. It's like it is the lightest practice. Again, whenever Alec Pierce does make his practice debut, James, he's going to do whatever, 10 catches in individual drills and then be done for the day. It's
Yeah.
not like he's going to take team reps. But after today, the thought is they don't practice till what, Tuesday?
Right.
Once you get through roster cuts and you get through those waiver claims, so that's less than 2 weeks until the regular season opener. So I said it to John yesterday afternoon when I hopped on with him. It is starting to get to a little bit more of time is ticking a little faster. That's how I would reference it. I think this week was kind of your last. Yeah, he could practice. He might not practice. It might not be the end of the world. I can hear that clock ticking a little bit faster. So we'll await that. The Dino Nuggets did make it home,
They did make it home
and they will be eaten at some point.
at some point.
Look at that.
I might not make it back afterwards, but we'll see.
Look at that.
Yeah. I was walking past the dumpster at the Colts facility yesterday, and I was like, I could just drop you off here, but
Boy, that was a $13 spend. Please don't be dropping it off in the old dumpster.
I didn't. It's at my house.
He just thought about it.
Right. I thought about you trying to poison me and get a solo show. I know what you're up to. Like JMV and Jake. Big ego.
Boy,
I
no.
agree with Gritty. She said,
Solo show
nice,
sounds awful.
nice thought, poor execution by Kevin. I agree. You could have bought that at like $9.50.
Again, when did I buy the Powerade? The last break of the show.
And so then you miss out on 90 minutes of contributing money and explaining to your listeners
We can do that
while you were there.
regardless. It's not a requirement to have the Dino Nuggets sitting on the ground in the shade, as you say.
James had a wet spot on his lap because he's holding defrosting Dino Nuggets
They
the
were
rest of the
perfectly
show.
in the shade. They were fine.
But the shade doesn't have like
They were
AC
fine.
or anything. What are you talking about?
It's like, having the beer outside for a few hours. It's not the end of the
That
world.
is not the same.
You still drink it.
That's not
It's
the same.
Skunked. These Dino Nuggets.
Oh, gosh.
You know how long dinosaurs stayed on this earth? They are
Good point.
resilient little sons of you-know-whats.
They usually say though when you bring something out of the freezer, you don't put it back in. Like it's time to use it or lose it.
Well, Mark, sorry about you, but you got to drive home. What happens if you get stuck in traffic? You're just going to throw all your freezer food away?
Well, there's a difference between bringing it from your store to car to home to bring from store to 2 hours of sitting in the sun and then getting in your car and then going to do more work before going home.
Looks fine to me. I think you will be fine.
Well, he hasn't. Have you gone in that realm
I
yet?
have not, Mark.
See?
I have not. I'm debating it. I got to think this over.
A nice start to this Thursday morning here in the Circle City. I am Kevin Bowen, James Boyd alongside Mark Dighton behind the glass. It is 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
Checked Out. Brought to you by Bet365 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Final practice of the week for the Colts. It is a preseason finale coming up Saturday with the Detroit Lions. Then the roster cut from 90 to 53 will occur on Sunday. We'll share our practice thoughts coming up on the other side. James, the biggest thing you learned yesterday over at West 56th Street?
Keenan Allen is very important, and Keenan Allen will be used a lot.
The Colts did cut their cornerback who played the most snaps on their roster last season. That was Mekhi Blackman. To say he has had a poor preseason would probably be an understatement, hence the move yesterday. So that is something to keep an eye out for as we get into roster cuts. Jake Arthur going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll get a little bit more into the weeds with him on that front. The Fever are finally nearing their next game. They haven't been playing at home in a while. It'll be the Connecticut Sun tomorrow night. It's a 7:30 tip inside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. But as we talked about in the opening segment, the Sun are not good at basketball. And if you don't believe me, believe Vegas. The Fever are a 16.5-point favorite. That's got to be the biggest of the season.
Yeah, but it's probably accurate given the fact that the Sun are that bad in the WNBA this season. But I probably still take the under just because I don't know if the Fever starters will be in the game long enough to hold that line.
Only buddy worse than the Connecticut Sun might be Mark's Chicago Cubs.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, Kevin.
Man.
Dang. Welcome back, Mark.
Mark, that was pathetic yesterday, brother.
Well, it seems like they're good for one game every week where they just don't score any runs. So that's cherry on top. And that was a crappy series against the Diamondbacks. You should have won at least 2 of those, and you lost 2. Awful. Now you got the Reds coming up, so hopefully you can take care of the doormats of the NL Central.
Well, I believe if you would have seen yesterday's Reds game, any highlights you have to play, I heard them leading into our show starting at 7 o'clock.
If there's a Reds highlight, then we're probably in COVID times, I would assume, these days.
Did you see what they did in the 9th inning yesterday to the Giants?
I haven't paid attention to the Reds since opening day, Kevin.
Oh, you can kiss my ass. Indianapolis Indians, they win yesterday. I believe no runs scored in the final 6 innings of that game, but 4-3 winners there. Tonight is Lexi Hall night over there, throwing out the first pitch. She'll be signing autographs from 5:30 to 6:10, and I believe also in the first 2 innings of that game. And then, Mark, you got the doubleheader. You're going WWE Saturday and Bluey and Bingo on Sunday?
I think so.
Over at Victory Field?
Yep.
The man is living.
Over under 3 beer bats in those 2 games.
I'll tell you what, if you make it through the whole Bluey Bingo line, I mean, that line's going to be stretched to Tavern on South.
That might be one of those situations where I tell Ashley, you take the girls, and then you let me know when the line is getting, like, close to done. Because I think that we did that. The first time they did that, I think they got in line in the 3rd inning, and we didn't. The game was over, and we're still waiting in line.
Wait,
Whoa.
so you just sit in the stands and you just keep the scorebook
Well, I
and
ended up
drink
going
beer
with
bats?
them at some point. I'm like, did you guys get lost? Like, no, we're still in line. I'm like, this is insane. Yeah, so
Jeez.
Bluey is no joke.
Bluey
like-
and Bingo. Don't forget about Bingo here.
Can't forget about bingo.
Week 2, Operation Football coming up tomorrow night. We'll get you set for that. Looks to be a really nice night from a weather standpoint. Marquee games of note. Certainly Carmel and Westfield will qualify as that. In 6A, Ben Davis and at Avon, little West Side matchup there. Curious about Fort Wayne Carroll and Center Grove. Carroll was all over HSE in week 1. Center Grove had that late loss to Warren Central. Tenley at Park Tudor, Shortridge at Triton, LC, Zionsville, LN, Fisher. So the Lawrence schools facing a couple of the suburb schools, if you will. Sheridan at Alexandria. Again, we'll get you set coming up tomorrow for that. IndyCar back on the roadways. It'll be the Oval of Milwaukee. It's actually a double header. I saw this note yesterday. I mentioned on the show that there was over 3 million people that watched that Washington, D.C. race. Fox came out with a few more Nielsen numbers from that TV rating, and they had a percentage of 44% of people that viewed that race hadn't watched an IndyCar race this season.
Wow.
44%. You talk about like what sports are trying to do. You get eyeballs that are not familiar with your sport. That is a dream. I would assume 44% is a massively high number.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever heard a number that high.
Huge for IndyCar there. Again, the Fox element helps, but I think certainly everything around that race from a patriotic standpoint, 250th birthday, et cetera, et cetera. Plenty of pre-race festivities that were on display. So good work there by IndyCar to attract some new eyeballs. I guess Sam Alexis at IU is now ineligible, James. Did you see this, the basketball player?
I did, but I'm still confused, and I'm more confused than I was yesterday and the day before yesterday.
Gosh, man, and our job's to educate, and I feel like I'm not going to educate very well.
I know, because everything continues to be so much in flux. Like, how can we educate people when the rules keep changing?
Now, again, Sam Alexis was different from Stephen Daly, for example, Kellen Wyatt, the football players. He got his injunction through a state court. That was the difference in those three, if you want to kind of label them from an Indiana standpoint. They seem to be the most notable names here in our state. But as of now, and as of now is probably the very apropos phrase with any of this stuff, he is now ineligible. Now, Daly and Wyatt can still continue to practice with the football team. But again, as of now, a week from Saturday, IU, North Texas, they remain on the sideline for that. And Benedict Mathurin to the New Orleans Pelicans. James, when you saw that deal, what is it, 2 years, $15 million with a player option? What'd you think of that?
I wasn't surprised by the number, mainly because in the NBA these days, it's hard to get money if you're a restricted free agent, number one. And then two, I think Benedict Mathurin is a pretty good NBA player, but his flaws make it hard to warrant more money, meaning he's a pretty good scorer. That's his best skill, but he's not an elite scorer, like sixth man of the year type of scorer. And he doesn't pass the ball. Like, he doesn't create plays for others. And so despite having the ability to kind of get his own shot off, he doesn't really get off the basketball enough. And those guys just don't get paid in the modern NBA like that, in my opinion.
Would you rather have Kelly Oubre or Benedict Mathurin?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Is that including you still have Zubats too?
Would you rather have Benedict Mathurin or Kelly Oubre?
Okay.
Let's just start there.
I'm going Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I'm saying that because I think Kelly offers you a little bit more defensively, size-wise. He's a bigger player than Benedict Mathurin and can probably offer you the same amount of scoring, just in a different way. Not a one-on-one score, but can fit within the Pacers system perhaps a little bit better.
Mark, that's a very relevant question you ask, though. And I think that's probably a big, big wrinkle in all of this. I'd probably disagree with you guys on Mathurin or Oubre, but there is another layer to that, and Ivica Zubats is probably a big, big part of that. More on that.
I certainly pulled something last night when
What is
Benedict
happening
Mathurin had
right
that
now?
windmill.
What's that, Kevin? Good Lord.
Gosh, I don't even remember saying that.
Well, I reminded you just now.
That sounded like the old studio.
It probably was.
Much more.
Hey, what's good, Kevin? Thank you for your support. Heard you're a big fan of the Pacers.
You were. Again, I am convinced no one told them. That's not a 9-year-old you're talking to. That's like a mid-30s radio host.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Who you're talking to? That man's had a hair transplant. He's got a couple kids. Got a lot of gray hairs.
He might have called you Kevy at some point.
Really?
Thinking,
Oh, I thought Kevy was a kindergartner at, IPS School 84 up there. What do we got? Colts, what happened yesterday at practice? What is the latest on one Alec Pierce? Reggie Wayne said that one particular wide receiver has made great strides since the spring. We'll share all of that upcoming for you here on what is a nice Thursday in the Circle City. Thanks for spending it with us.
Hey, what's good, Kevin? Thank you for your support. Heard you're a big fan of the Pacers. I'm here, supporting you. You support me. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the season and looking forward to do some damage and get some wins. Let's go.
Today's Fox 59 Weather Authority forecast from the Armor Air Weather Center. Armor Air, we do what's right on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Increasing clouds will give way to a few light rain chances later on this afternoon. Still a lot of dry time and a high today at 83. Tonight, clearing skies and cooler. Don't forget about that lunar eclipse. A low tonight down to 60. And heading into tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, a dry day with a high at 84. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Jim O'Brien for The Fan.
Don't get strung out by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Give us some Colts roster cut debate coming up 8 o'clock. Much more on the Benedict Mathurin move yesterday. Could the Pacers have retained him for that dollar amount? What would that have looked like for the rest of the Pacers, I guess, moves here over the last few months? We'll hit on that as well. Again, final practice of the week for the Colts coming up later today. And then it'll be Saturday, the preseason finale. That will be Colts and Lions inside of Lucas Oil Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock kick. We will see Anthony Richardson starting. He'll get the first quarter of work. Riley Leonard, the second quarter. And then Easton Stick, who, makes an occasional play or two when he gets the rare rep in practice. He'll get the second half of work. He's currently the fourth string quarterback for the Colts. Is Saturday the final time we see Anthony Richardson take a snap in Lucas Oil Stadium?
No, I don't think so at all. I think there's a possibility that Daniel does not play a full season just because we haven't seen that from him really at all throughout his career. He's got one season through his first 7 where he's played a full season without being benched or injured. And so I would venture to say because of that, we see Anthony again. And I also think that when you got a chance to throw a question at Shane Steichen about perhaps using Anthony in some short yardage situations, he gave an answer that maybe left the door open for that, Kevin.
So you think Anthony will be the backup then? You don't think it'll be Riley Leonard?
I think right now it's trending towards Anthony being the backup. Now, that could all change. I don't think that yesterday made me feel like that argument was strengthened. I thought that Anthony kind of struggled yesterday throughout practice. But if I'm just looking at the players in a vacuum, which one do I think I can win a game with, Riley or Anthony, and do so to keep us afloat? It's probably the guy who I've seen win multiple games in this league.
I would say even if Riley Leonard is quarterback 2, Anthony Richardson will still see some playing time. Because there could be times where if Riley does have to play and he's not playing well, they'll pull him and put AR in.
Oh, boy.
So I wouldn't rule any of it out.
So you've got Daniel Jones missing a lot of time then.
Well, not necessarily a lot of time, but if we're, a couple games in and Riley Leonard's just not moving the ball down the field, I could easily see them giving him the hook and putting AR in.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at Richardson and Leonard. And, again, James, we are fortunate enough. Actually, today is the final practice we'll get to watch fully here this offseason. So we've watched whatever it is now, 16, 17 of these practices. Yesterday was awful, I thought, from Richardson. I mean, I thought he was awful. And I thought Leonard was much, much better. So, again.
And that's why it's such a weird
one-day
debate
practice
to me, because both of them have had days where I'm like, Lord have mercy, how are you all NFL quarterbacks? And then they had other days where I'm like, okay, I can kind of see the vision.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their preseason playing time, and I get it, that's what fans have watched this 2 games, similar to the kicker battle. Like, if you take 100% of the things you've watched with Blake Grupe and Spencer Schrader, you would say Blake Grupe has been better than Spencer Schrader in what, 90% of the settings?
Right.
Something like that. I don't know if it's 90%. That's way too big of a compliment to Leonard, but he's definitely been better than Richardson quantity-wise over all of these days. It's just you get in that preseason, and again, it is a game, and I realize Allen Iverson's in my head right now. Richardson was really good in that second quarter in New England, and Riley has not had anything of that note through either of the 2 preseason games. And so that, I think, is why you see so many people believing that it will be Anthony, which I'm like, oh boy, Shane Steichen's a decision maker in this.
That's also a big factor.
Shane Steichen's a decision maker in this.
And that's why I said my take on it, like, if they're in a vacuum, here's the argument for why Anthony might be the better choice. but we're also not in a vacuum. And we know who the head coach is, and we know why things kind of broke apart and didn't pan out with Anthony and Shane. I think it's just because he wanted a quarterback that can run an offense and competently make throws. But even then, I don't think that Riley is like this great pocket passer. Like he's not.
No.
I think Riley and Anthony are much more similar than people actually want to admit.
You've heard me say it a million times. Riley's the white Anthony Richardson in a lot of ways. Seriously. I mean, like, stylistically, like they're very similar. It's kind of odd for me to say this, but like the best case scenario for the 2026 Colts is that Saturday is Anthony Richardson's final snaps in Lucas Oil Stadium, right?
Good point.
Isn't that the best case scenario? I mean, that means Daniel Jones is healthy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And everyone wants him to play, and he's clearly their best option.
Now, some might counter and say, well, yes, I understand what you're saying on that, but could this team also add a wrinkle with using Anthony Richardson in a little bit of short yardage, package situations? Okay, I could hear that, but yeah, it just kind of hit me thinking about what Saturday is. It's the preseason finale. It's, for many Colts, it'll be their final games, of course, having to cut the roster from 90 to 53. But, 2 or 3 months ago, if I would have said to you, hey, preseason finale comes around, Anthony Richardson's playing, I feel like the confidence in your answer, James, and correct me if I'm wrong, probably has waned a little bit in saying, oh, yeah, there's no chance Anthony will either be here or play snaps in the regular season. Right. Now it almost seems like there's more of a thought that he will, A, be here, and B, very well could be playing in the season.
Yeah, and the whole will you use him in short yardage situations is interesting to me because as you've pointed out, and some of our listeners here, even in the YouTube chat and the text line, they've talked about, hey, but we can't have 3 active quarterbacks on game day, so you have to make Anthony the backup if you want him to be the short area guy. And I just wonder if that is enough to give him a slight edge in this QB2 race. Also, for those listening, I wouldn't expect a formal announcement from Shane Steichen. Doesn't sound like he would want to offer that unless he has to.
Yeah, he has to on game day. So, like, September 13th, you have to designate
I meant
who
like
your backup
going
is.
into game day.
Right. Yeah. You have to designate who your backup is, who your QB3 is. So, a couple other items from Colts practice yesterday. I think one thing that stood out, and again, it sounds like and these are Josh Downs' words, a very minor calf injury for him. The Colts did not have Josh Downs yesterday. They did not have Alec Pierce. They did not have Tyler Warren.
Who did they have?
James, there's a stretch in August where they were without 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
And I thought the passing offense struggled mightily.
Yeah,
there was
sure.
that week stretch. I think it kind of started with, you out there in New England and then continued when they got back from the joint practice where I thought Daniel Jones and company, they were getting exposed quite a lot with, frankly, just a number 2 unit of skill players, of pass catchers, having to go out there and be starters. Yesterday, again, you're down your top 3 pass catchers, right? Pierce, Downs, Warren. And I thought Daniel Jones still had a really, really productive day of work. Now, we should note, not in full pads, but still, he had a really, really productive day. And as you were hinting at right there, Keenan Allen was a big, big part of that. I had Keenan Allen for about 6 of the 19 completions or catches that Daniel Jones hooked up with his pass catchers on. Nothing overly flashy outside of the diving grab that he made, but
I think Wohler would have laid him out in the real game.
Did you see Wohler hit him the other day?
Yeah, and I was thinking you got to relax.
Yeah, and then Keenan kind of gave him a little shove after that, and then Quentin Nelson came down the field and gave him a little bit of business as well. Yeah, that was it reminded me of like years ago, LaRon Landry decked Reggie Wayne in a Colts practice, and oh boy.
That sounds very un-LaRon Landry-like. Are you sure?
I swear it might have been Landry's first or second practice with the Colts. And I'm like, dude, of all the dudes to hit out here, that's probably the last one to hit. But yeah, Wohler has no fear.
No, but I'm just saying, and it was a good catch from Keenan Allen. But the way he dove for that and the way Wohler kind of pulled up, I'm not sure if it would have been an incompletion, but it definitely would have been a collision. For sure.
Yeah, and I guess I go back to, what I was saying, James, of like, the offense yesterday had competence to it without their top 3 pass catchers. More than competence. It's probably unfair to label it that low.
They had some success.
Yeah. And, again, is that a part of Keenan Allen's presence on the football team where it might not look, again, overly flashy? He might not be James Boyd in a 40-yard dash, but the man just gets open and he's got unbelievable hands. And I think that's been on display here through the first couple of days.
He ain't been that slow. You see he lost a step. He ain't, in the same realm as me. But as far as other players that stood out to me, Kevin, Seth McGowan had a touchdown catch in 11-on-11, and he continues to impress to me as the running back, too. I think that
most impressive rookie to me.
Yeah, of all the position battles that we've talked about here on the show, that's the one that is, in my opinion, far and away over. He is your running back, too. Unless there is an injury, which we would never want to happen to any player, he's the guy. And he's proven it. And I think that because of his background, Kevin, he probably dropped later in the draft than he was supposed to. He's a convicted felon. He had some, I think it was like robbery charges from a few years ago. Got kicked out of school, ended up having to go through some unconventional route to get back to the Division I Power 4 level, paid his dues. And even when we talked to him the day he got drafted and was asking him about his background and his mistakes, really, he owned it all. And it seems like this dude is just someone who's come in and probably is a little more talented to where he was drafted and is proving it day in and day out.
People are trying to get around the 3-quarterback thing. They're asking if they could slot Anthony in at running back or tight end. I guess I don't know the rules on that.
I feel like that's one of those things where the league would step in immediately afterward and be like, yeah, you can't do that. You're like,
Did
remember
the Saints
when
do it with Taysom Hill?
That's a good question.
If Lane Kiffin was the head coach of the Colts, you damn right he would try to do that.
I love that Lane Kiffin's at the center of this.
Who else would it be?
And like the LSU coaches, Lane Kiffin, Will Wade, and Kim Mulkey.
That's a trifecta of like crazy coaches.
That's the moral compass of, of the Vegas Strip at 3 a.m.
You have all 3 of those in a room, and you summon like the sports demons or something like that.
I was going to say
imagine?
they will do whatever it takes to win.
I'm going to guess
head coach seance.
Mark Dykton's search history looks like the Bible compared to those 3.
100%. Scrubbed my.
And to be honest with you, Kim Mulkey's the one that scares me the most out of those 3.
Is she the only one that's a national champion as a head coach?
Yeah, for sure, right? Wade, no way, and then Lane, no.
You're not counting Dan Hurley in there?
No, those. I just love how those 3 are all in the same athletic department.
Yeah, I think that's what he's getting at, Mark.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Bring back Brian Kelly.
Imagine being their AD, and it's like, boy.
Can you imagine? Can we talk to the golf coaches today?
Golf coach is John Daly or something.
Let's get Jake Amos here for the golf program. We can chat about that. The Colts did give the scissors yesterday to Mekhi Blackmon, James. Again, he played the most snaps of any cornerback on this team last year.
Yes.
It's rather amazing. But he has struggled, to say the least, in the preseason.
Well, I'll give you a quick snapshot right here. So, a couple weeks ago, we go to New England for the joint practice, and Tommy DeVito was up for the last 2-minute drill. And I think it might have been like a minute 13 on the clock. You get one timeout, and you got to go about 50 yards for a touchdown. Their drive lasted 6 seconds because Mekhi Blackmon got beat by Mac Hollins deep. 1 play, 1 ball, gone. And I was thinking to myself, wow, that's a really bad rep. And then fast forward to the actual game.
Oh, he was torturing
what
the
happens
game.
in one of the first drives of the game? Mac Hollins beats Mekhi Blackmon again deep. And this time, the only reason he didn't go for a touchdown is because Mekhi Blackmon held him. And so I want to say.
Is this where you use the term hibachi?
Yes, hibachi. Definitely. I mean, it was cooked, it was grilled, it was everything you wanted. But I think those 2 plays really stood out to me because it's like, dude, you just had this same mistake happen a couple of days prior, and it happens again. And throughout the first 2 preseason games, I believe he was flagged for 4 defensive pass interference penalties. I know it was definitely at least 3. But, yeah, really poor showing from him throughout training camp, so much so that they have moved on.
One little, again, nerdy roster thing, and, every time I feel like we get this close to roster cuts, I feel like it's fine to get into the weeds of the roster here. 90 to 53 will be cut by Sunday. James, Cam Taylor-Britt, who is definitely on the roster, is probably the next corner up. And I do want to get to this Mooney Ward audio here in a little bit because I think he continues to, again, him playing a full season, unfortunately, I just think it's not something that I have a great amount of confidence in right now. But for the first week of the season, Cam Taylor-Britt is suspended for the Baltimore game. Reckless driving, I think it was, late last year. So for 1 week, their cornerback position will have an extra name, you would assume, that might even be playing week 1, but at the very least will be on the roster. So, again, for our roster cut people that get obsessed with this stuff, just one thing to note here leading into that aspect to it. Mark Dykton, that Colts complex been around for 40 years. Do you think James Boyd's the first person ever to carry Dino Nuggets into the front lobby?
They have a kids' day at any point. Bring your kid to work day.
But even then, the kids aren't bringing Dino Nuggets.
The kids aren't, but someone might have shipped them over. I'll say yes, but I don't know. If there's like bring your kid to work day, then maybe not.
Honestly, the thing I feel the most proud about is he didn't expose the Dino Nuggets to conveyor belt. He carried that thing like it was his firstborn right through the metal detector.
Typically Dino Nuggets are in my stomach, so they're a part of me.
I'm also like not very confident in Kevin's like snack ability because he was talking about thawed out Dino Nuggets and then said there's no problem with a warm beer. I was like, warm beer? Who's drinking that? Well, if it's sitting in the sun for a couple hours, you better.
The fact that he tried to equate the two is what bothers me.
Yeah.
One is chicken, the other one is a liquid.
Even still, I don't want any warm beer from the Bowen household.
Jeez, I don't need you to liquid gas solid me right here and start, explaining your science experiments with me.
No, it's not my science
You're trying to get me to eat a science experiment.
My beers are cold. My Dino Nuggets are frozen.
I do, and James, we're frozen for a long period of time. I mean, I opened up the freezer when I got to the Colts complex and sitting right there with 2 bags of ice around it, I might add.
Yeah, but
James Boyd's Dino Nuggets.
You know what? Mark, those things
look fine to me.
Those things
look comfortable.
They definitely got a little mushy before I put them back in the freezer.
James, if you are willing to have that for lunch today, we will see if you're on PTO tomorrow.
Okay, we'll see.
A little
stomach's not feeling great.
Source getting back to
James
full
is chugging
firmness.
Pepto-Bismol, and
You know
Kevin's
what?
just, I guess
Mark
it's me
had a
on
great
Friday.
idea during the break. So I think it's about time that I meet the family and I bring over the Dino Nuggets and we sit down at the table and you tell Maddie that me, Rosie, you're shaking your head already. I don't want to hear it.
No,
Melly, Max, we sit down, we have the Dino Nuggets together. And they're eating them first.
Kim Mulkey could walk in with Dino Nuggets and the kids would be thrilled. I mean, it's just, anybody could walk in with Dino Nuggets and hell, you might as well be Santa.
Yeah, James has to give your kids the Dino Nuggets first to make sure they're safe to eat.
Exactly.
And then, so what is your trust level there?
Oh, I'm totally fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is why they have 2 parents.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they eat it. Safari Nuggets or Dino Nuggets?
Dino Nuggets. See, I got people in the YouTube chat telling me, you got to go get this brand. You got to go try this flavor. Look, man, that's too much going on. I'm a simple guy. That Dino Nuggets is as extreme as it's going to get. That's it.
Also, why mess with success?
Exactly. It's been consistent for about 3 or 4 years now.
Well, hell, I might argue it's been consistent since the Stone Age.
That was good. That was good.
Could the Pacers have kept Benedict Mathurin at the price value? We saw him join the Pelicans yesterday. Again, Mooney Ward's comments, how does that make you feel? As a Colts fan and Reggie Wayne, he has been intrigued by a wide receiver that he admitted was struggling in the spring. We'll share that for you as well. Jake Arthur into Colts roster cuts on the other side. Good Thursday morning to you. This is the Fan Morning Show here. Kevin Bowen, James Boyd, and Mark Dykton on 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
8 o'clock hour on this Thursday morning. Looks to be a great weekend weather-wise. Maybe temps increasing a hair, but still certainly better than what we've had to deal with for much of August. And good news for those making the trek out tonight. Maybe the South Side, Key Stadium, Indy and Marion. They'll get things underway. A nice little crosstown matchup, if you will. Week 2 of high school football coming up tomorrow. Butler hosting Georgetown, the Kentucky Georgetown. That's 1 o'clock in the Selleck Bowl. Always a great place to watch a game. That'll be Saturday afternoon. And, of course, a week from Friday, Purdue will host. A week from Saturday, Indiana will host. And a week from Sunday, Notre Dame will be up at Lambeau Field taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. All right, roster cuts for the Colts. They are due Sunday at 6 o'clock. To talk more about this, we'll nerd out a bit here. Jake Arthur, Locked On Colts, is with us. Jake, good morning, sir.
Guys, how we doing?
We are great. Your thoughts when you saw James Boyd walk into the media room yesterday with a 64-ounce bag of Dino Nuggets?
I thought it was a great commitment to the bit, and then you said it was actually you that, as a good friend, provided that. And I said, James, look at the size of that bag. That is a good friend. You have fed him for days now, Kevin.
Okay, but Jake.
Thank you. The Arthur kids would be all about that, would they not?
No, hold on. Jake, are you feeding the Arthur kids Dino Nuggets that were bought at 8:30 a.m., sat on the pavement of a parking lot until about 10 a.m.?
No, in the shade.
Shut up. This is my story.
In the shade.
10 a.m., go to the Colts facility. That's about a 40-minute drive. Go back in the freezer after they're kind of mushy, and then take that back out of the freezer, take it home, and then serve it? Like, would you give your kids that? Would your wife allow that? She's a doctor, a nurse.
It seems to be a little bit of a slippery slope. If we have had full thawage, I don't know about that.
Come on now. They've eaten worse, let's be honest with you.
That's not the point.
If there's still ice crystals, I think it's fair to go ahead and keep using them.
Yeah, and there were. I felt the bag when I saw it in the freezer later.
After they got
in the day.
In the freezer.
Jake Arthur, the hardest position to cut down Sunday evening will be what for the Colts?
Oof. I do think they're going to have a really tough choice at running back. I think a lot of us are really bullish on Seth McGowan and Ulysses Bentley as the next backups, but how much patience and grace do they want to kind of give DJ Giddens to see if he becomes what they hoped he did? I don't know if they have time for that. I think McGowan is like the perfect complementary back for what they need with Jonathan Taylor. And then we've seen that Bentley has some explosiveness and can catch the ball. So I think that one will be pretty tough. When I've done a 53-man, I've had a really tough time with the defensive line. Not because it's like so good, who do you cut? But like, they don't want to cut Curry or Gums because they're rookies and they've had a pretty good summer. Clemens factors in there, obviously key. Tua Maloau is a second-round pick. I just think they've got a lot of guys in a rotation. Not really any stars outside of Latu, but just a lot of guys I guess they have to keep around because they have to have a committee approach to pass rush. And then on the interior, I really like Tommy and Colby Wood, and I don't think anything will happen with those guys. But is it worth keeping a backup nose tackle? Because I don't think Jerry Tillery or Derek Noddy or Cam Ball or Tim Smith have really done enough to stick on the roster. So there could be a couple of those guys that are just like practice squad players who you call up and maximize their like 3 call-ups in the season. So I think defensive line is kind of tough.
And we know Ballard's obsessed with defensive line as well.
Yep.
Again, that is the voice of Jake Arthur, kind enough to join us here on the Fan Morning Show. He covers the Colts for Roundtable Sports as well as Locked On Colts, wherever you get your podcasts. Jake, going back to, I think, the linebacker position, we did see C.J. Allen get some reps with the ones yesterday. Do you think this position is still up for grabs, or has it gotten to the point where we know at least to start the season, C.J. Allen will not be a starter and he'll have to kind of work his way in?
Well, if we take Louis Anarumo at his word, it's just really a matter of they need C.J. Allen's mental reps that he's been able to take to catch up with the physical reps and staying healthy. I think they absolutely want him to be the starting Mike. I guess it's just about if he can finish out these last couple weeks healthy without missing time. Has he, made up enough ground to be that starter? Even if not, I think it's only a matter of time. I think we have seen that they have every intention of not necessarily committing to like one or two certain linebackers in certain areas. They're going to get weird with it and use a lot of different guys in different spots. But ultimately, I do think Allen and Akeem Davis Gaither will probably be the guys that wind up playing the most snaps this year. But I, I mean, as long 2 weeks is kind of a lot of time when you look at it like from a training camp perspective.
Yeah.
There's a lot that can happen in 2 weeks. So if Allen stays healthy, then I think he will probably be out there week 1 with the starters.
And that's the voice of Jake Arthur, Locked On Colts, the audio platform. Excellent listen. Him and Zach Hicks mainly do a great job. They sprinkle in some Derek Schultz. Always fun to hear Derek as well. And Roundtable Sports, you can find the written work for Jake. Jake, do you think there's any chance Saturday's the last time we see Anthony Richardson play inside of Lucas Oil Stadium?
There's always a chance, obviously, if another team wants to come trade for him, but I don't think the Colts have any intentions of cutting him. I can't say for sure whether they feel he's the QB2 or not, just because I think from all our perspective, what we see in the eye test doesn't always necessarily translate to what the Colts want and see behind the scenes. Um, but I do think if no team comes and trades for him, I think they'll carry all 3 quarterbacks there. Of course, Riley Leonard, not Easton Stick. But yeah, I don't think he's quite done enough to engage another team to come trade for him. He's still very hot and cold. I think even if he wasn't like awesome this summer, if he was at least consistently solid, that would be one thing. But he's still got those wild peaks and valleys. I mean, there was that series in practice on Tuesday where he just like couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Didn't necessarily have the best practice yesterday either. So my gut tells me that they carry those 3 guys into the season, and I don't know if Richardson winds up playing. Kevin, I know you've played around with the idea of him being like a short yardage guy, which makes all the sense in the world. But for some reason, they just haven't really dove into that yet. Maybe they will this year. It's probably a good idea. But as far as like starting and playing as planned, probably not.
Sunday, 6 o'clock, roster cuts due 90 to 53. Let's say Sunday afternoon, they trade the loser of their kicker battle. Ideally, you would trade the loser of the kicker battle for what position? Like, where do you kind of think they're super thin as they start to cut this roster down?
Um, I don't. I mean, you're probably not getting a worthwhile edge out of that. Obviously, it is a kicker. If you could find a worthwhile backup nose tackle or someone who inspires a little more confidence at swing tackle than maybe the combo of Luke Tenuta and Blake Freeland, maybe. Just because I think you're riding a real fine line with those guys. Like Tenuta has like 35 snaps in the NFL, and they're in a position now where when he was missing practice time recently, it felt like they may be screwed if they had any injuries at tackle, which is kind of wild to have that much weight put on Luke Tenuta. So if they had another capable tackle in there, and then again behind Grover Stewart, if he were to miss any time, they probably would have to put Colby Wooden in there, which they really don't want to do, and he doesn't seem to want to play nose tackle either. So I don't I don't think they have any reasonable options at nose tackle if anything were to happen to Grover.
Again, that's Jake Arthur. Does a great job covering the Colts for Locked On Colts. One more from me, Jake. Is there a player or two that the general public maybe hasn't caught on to or has paid attention to, but that has caught your eye as a potential, 53, 52nd man on the roster?
Yeah, I think a couple guys that really come to mind here. Coleman Owen, I think, is maybe the most likely of the like quote unquote no name type of guys. He's gotten more reps than anybody at punt returner all summer. As far as being a slot receiver goes, I don't think they would ever plan to put him there, but I think he got some action late in the season. Like I think they activated him off the practice squad. So I don't think it's very far fetched for Owen to win the battle between like him and Anthony Gould and Deion Burks. And then at safety, I think Cam Taylor Britt's 1 game suspension kind of plays into some roster tinkering a little bit for week 1. If Trey Washington wound up making the roster for week 1, I wouldn't really be floored about it as a fifth safety. Good special teams prowess, and they really seem to like his growth. He's made a lot of plays in the summer. I think he wound up with like 3 interceptions, a couple more pass breakups. So that's a guy, obviously, James, you know a lot about him. Like, I think internally they are pretty high on him, and there's an easy role for him through special teams. Because that's another thing. A lot of guys make the roster that some fans are like, is that? Because they have
Yeah.
almost no utility on offense or defense, and they just make it because of special teams. And I think guys like Coleman Owen and Trey Washington make a lot of sense there.
Jake Arthur, Roundtable Sports, Locked on Colts. Jake, will end with this most pressing topic of the day. Brandon from Greenwood on the text line. Good morning, Mr. James Boyd. Are those Dino Nuggets pre-cooked? If they are pre-cooked, you're totally good. Put them bad boys in an air fryer. Get some Chick-fil-A honey mustard sauce and go to town, my man. How about that? You're
Jake,
good to go.
right.
My proposal, Jake, was that I bring the Dino Nuggets over to KB's house for dinner, and we all eat them together as a family. And if Maddie approves of the kids having, thawed out Dino Nuggets that have been refrozen and eaten, then, let's all do it together. If I, keel over, then everyone keels over.
They would think that you're Santa Claus walking through the door with Dino Nuggets.
Honestly, yeah. Make a whole thing out. You see people like do mashed potatoes and broccoli and gravy with it, make a whole like prehistoric food scene with it.
Wow.
Like you can do a lot with Dino Nuggets.
Man, I didn't even think about
Uh-huh,
that. Boy.
Okay.
Sounds like the next time Maddie's out of town, we might need to dabble in that. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
The Ankylosaurus climbing the trees.
Oh,
the
boy.
Velociraptor with some mashed potatoes. Oh, boy. Jake Arthur. I love that brain. Jake, we'll see you in a few hours.
Absolutely. See you guys soon.
Jake Arthur right there. Looking good on Zoom on this Thursday morning. We got a little 3-on-3 basketball, by the way, to chat about in the 9 o'clock hour.
You know I'm all about that.
You dabble in some Gus Macker back in the day?
I know of it. I don't think I ever played in it, but I think it's cool and for a good cause.
Yeah, for a great cause coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour. What did Travaris Ward have to say? I think his comments yesterday were pretty interesting in regards to where he's at right now, heading into a season that obviously was one that he didn't maybe think was going to happen at the end of last year. So we'll hit that coming up in a bit. Yesterday, Benedict Mathurin, James, a player option on this 2-year deal. He joins the Pelicans. So, hey, sign me up for opening night. Benedict Mathurin against his former team again. I love those Clipper games. Boy, he cooked the Pacers in one of those games last year. Pretty much the same price for Kelly Oubre. Benedict Mathurin. You said you'd rather have Oubre?
I think I would. Veteran, been on some playoff teams, has an opportunity to come in and be a better wing defender potentially than Benedict Mathurin, and probably plays better without the ball.
I think he passes less than Mathurin.
I know, but I'm saying he doesn't take the ball and go one-on-one as much. He's a slasher. He's a cutter. That's what I think you need for this offense. But at the same time, I could definitely see an argument for Benedict Mathurin staying here. But hindsight's 20/20, as they say.
Yeah, I think my question in regards to this, I'd rather have Mathurin, but certainly 6 years younger would play into that as well in terms of looking forward to the future of your roster, as well as some guys are getting older. I don't think you're falling off a cliff by any means, but there are some guys that are getting older. To me, it's like, could you have done all of it and Zubats? That, I think, is where you struggle with the ability to retain Mathurin. Like, had you extended Mathurin, you're probably not getting this price point. Part of it is just the nature of restricted free agency, which you brought up earlier in the show. I don't think you are trading. Like, if you remove Mathurin from the Zubats trade and insert whatever, Jarris Walker and Ben Shepherd, I probably think the Clippers aren't doing that. And so that would be my question with that is, are you getting Zubats if you had retained Mathurin? That is probably a no.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. It's just hard to go back and like say what you would have did or could have did or should have did all these months later. Boy, I was listening to Tyrese on that podcast where he talked about, not having the home game to open the season. And, yeah, he was feeling kind of how we were when that top 5 pick didn't convey. I think the message he told those guys was, well, nothing in my career or life has been kind of easy, so it's fitting. And I think Pacers fans probably agree with that, given the history of this franchise.
Keaton Wagler, your boy, right? That's who the Clippers took at 5?
Yeah, but even then, I don't think that he would have been a good fit here. I think it was top 4 or nothing. But, boy, if I see, Darren Peterson, when I see Darren Peterson and Cam Boozer going off this year and the other 2 in the top 4, I'll be thinking about it.
You want Mathurin pointing at Halliburton opening night and saying, I want to isolate you?
He'll do that on the first possession. Are you kidding me? Oh, if I'm Mathurin, okay, this sounds petty, but as a competitor, oh boy. Tyrese Halliburton, you're back from the Achilles? Let's test that thing. First play. Pick and roll, switch, ISO. What does Kobe do? The 2 hands, get out the way.
Go stand in the corner.
Yeah.
Trey Murphy, go stand in the corner.
Yeah, and if Tyrese gets a stop, Pacers fans are turned up. If he doesn't get a stop, I'm calling him washed.
I don't care what the over-under is for Benedict Mathurin on opening night. I think I'm taking the over because he's going to want to put some points on the board.
At the very least, you got to take the over on shot attempts.
We were all about that in his first game back against the Pacers last year at the Clippers, and he hammered the over. He was great. I remember that game. I forget what the final total was, but he was very, very good in that game. So, yeah, player option for him, I think is probably something also worth pointing out. The Pelicans obviously only have his control for 1 year. I think Mathurin's hope is he gets to unrestricted free agency, but yeah, to me, I think I don't know. Like, is Kelly Oubre a good defender, or we just think he's good because he's taller?
I think he's a decent defender. I don't think he's a great defender, but I think that he offers more engagement on that end than Benedict Mathurin does.
Because offensively, like Mathurin and Oubre, there's a lot, I think, frankly, similarities. They are score-first guys that don't really pass. I would say Oubre is probably the slightly better shooter. Mathurin definitely the better getting to the foul line.
Yeah, that's a gift that he has.
Defensively, yeah. Certainly that was a question that Mathurin did not answer, really, in his first couple years.
I also think Oubre will know his role on the court more than Mathurin did. We always were kind of trying to figure out, like, what exactly is Mathurin in this Pacers offense? I think we're going to know with Kelly Oubre what he is versus what Benedict Mathurin was.
Oubre will have fans pulling their hair out. Let's not act like Oubre is some choir boy out there that's just, passing the ball. And
there will be some moments for sure.
I mean, Oubre is, you don't average double figures for your career coming off the bench if you're not a little crazy. Again, Oubre and Mathurin have a lot more similarities than I think people fully realize. Even if their game's not exactly the same, you're not a high-level scorer off the bench if you don't have a little screw or two loose.
Got to be a little crazy is what you're saying?
1,000%. You have to.
The man had his hair dyed in Philadelphia 76ers colors at one point. Was split down the middle like he was the Joker or something.
He looks like the Oregon jerseys with his hair color every night. You got no idea.
I'm ready for the blue and gold.
What he's running out of the tunnel with. Mark, let's check it down.
The Morning Checkdown. Brought to you by Suave Men Refreshing Face and Body Wash on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
James, final practice of the week for the Colts comes a little bit later this morning. The latest on Alec Pierce is what?
That he has not practiced. And so we will see if he practices today, which would be the first time this offseason, really since he's finished up last year. So we'll be on wait and see mode later on. But other than that, the Colts move forward with their other receivers headlined by Keenan Allen.
Again, the word that Shane Steichen used earlier this week was hopeful. You know my thoughts and opinions on the word hopeful when it comes to injuries. I think it's the word that arguably means the least. Mark Dykton, you're hopeful that your kids won't whine in the next 48 hours.
No, impossible. Out of 3 of them, there's always one. Every single time.
I think it, James, part of me is like, today's kind of a light practice. Wouldn't it be fine, I guess, if he's close to just get him out there in individual drills? So if he doesn't practice today, then you're probably fast forwarding all the way till Tuesday.
Yeah.
And if you get to Tuesday, now you're less than 2 weeks from the start of the season. So, I said this kind of opened up the show. In my mind, the clock hasn't really been ticking too fast. it's starting to tick pretty fast now, especially if he's not out there today. I mean, if you want to play out the Chris Ballard timeline, James, what did Ballard say? 1 to 2 weeks at the start of camp?
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't practice today, it'll be 5 weeks come Tuesday. 5. So you can say it hasn't been a setback. Something's changed.
Definitely.
Chris Ballard's not just throwing out 1 to 2 weeks, just to throw out 1 to 2 weeks.
He should have never threw out anything given the track record of injuries in this city. But, yeah, that's what we're going off of. And to be fair to Alec, he always said it was a 4 to 6 month recovery. So I'll probably lean towards that. We're in the 5th month right now. I'm not hitting the panic button just yet, but I do want to see some sort of progress, some sort of positive updates, a little bit more tangible than, yeah, I saw him in the indoor facility. He looked good. Well, we didn't see him. So what next?
Reminder, Carly Ursay-Gordon will be joining Greg Shaw and Rick Venturi in the TV booth coming up during the 3rd quarter on Saturday. Colts and Lions preseason finale from Lucas Oil. The Fever back in action tomorrow night. They've got the Connecticut Sun, and this spread is massive. The Fever are a 16.5-point favorite over the Connecticut Sun. I would have to double check, but I would argue that's the biggest all season long.
Yeah, definitely. And this is an opportunity for the Fever, who are currently in 5th place in the WNBA standings, to try to get into that top 4 at least so they can get home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs.
Mark, busy night in the Bowen household. Maddie went out to dinner with her mom, kind of was wrangling the kids, didn't really have a time to check any of the baseball scores. Did I miss anything of note for your Cubs?
I don't think so. I think they were off yesterday. At least the offense was.
Off. Okay, let me go ahead and double check that.
Kiss my ass, Kevin.
Scrolling here. Oh, boy, that's not a crooked number, is it?
For a guy who's a Red fan, you're doing a lot of chirping this
I
season.
see a 0 next to their name.
Dang,
right?
Mark.
2 hits? I feel like it's a weekly occurrence. They have one of these games every week where they get 1 or 2 hits.
I believe I said that earlier. Yes, they do. I don't know what that is about, but they did, and it was not great because in a 6-game road trip, they should have been at the very least 5-1, and instead he got walked off 3 times. He got no-no'd yesterday. No showed.
The Reds scoring 7 in the 9th. I'm rocking the Cincy hat today, boys. The Reds are officially dead.
Thank you, Kevin.
Gosh, when I saw that yesterday, I thought that win should count for 4 or 5.
Well, you would love that, wouldn't you?
Don't know if that would really help them much in the standings, to be honest. Cardinals lose the Orioles. That was not great by the Cardinals, fighting for a wild card spot. White Sox over the Rangers. Brewers do what the Brewers usually do, and that's win. Indy and Marion tonight. Mark Dyke, you're going to take the girls down to Key Stadium? See the old stomping grounds where Dad had his late-night radio show? What was that show called?
Mark After Dark. It was like an HBO series.
Mark After Dark. Man, I can only imagine.
So let's hope that audio is dead and buried.
Mark After Dark. Boy, FCC is on line 1.
Oh, there's no FCC violations there. They were not monitoring the local campus.
They were in
radio.
REM sleep.
Uh-huh. God, please don't have any audio of that anywhere.
I gotta look that up. I came across my college radio show. Shout out to Frank Derber and I. The Red Zone is what we called it. Just a great creative name there. I came across the audio a few weeks ago, and I dialed it up for about 5 or 10 minutes. Dear Lord.
And you're cringy the whole time.
Oh,
You're
my
like, get
God.
this off the air.
Just absolutely.
I found an old radio shirt that I had from college. Shout out to the Rolling Illini show that we did.
Absolutely horrific. Sam Alexis is now ineligible, James Boyd. Please make it
Don't
so
pass it along to
confusing.
me. I am as confused as you. This from the Daily Hoosier. Sam Alexis is not currently eligible to play for IU basketball in 2026-27. In the latest turn of events involving the class of 2022 athletes seeking a 5th year of eligibility, the Tennessee Court of Appeals has issued an order staying the injunction granted to a plaintiff of athletes, including Alexis, pending appeal. So there seems to be an appeal process for this.
So this whole college season of football and basketball needs to just be sponsored by Excedrin, because I'm going to have a migraine trying to decipher all this.
So well said. Do you think we're going to have, do you think Kurt Signetti will say to Stephen Daly and Kellen Wyatt, you can continue to practice all year long? And all of a sudden, if they get whatever cleared on December 20th for the playoff game against Texas, then they play?
I don't know. I feel like it's a slippery slope.
You feel like you're offending guys on the roster?
Not
or
offending guys on the roster, but are you wasting reps on guys who may not even get that opportunity. That's where I'm coming at it from.
Yeah.
Man.
It'll be interesting because, right now, I mean, I use month of September, you aren't really wasting much here, but
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how teams handle that. Again, Alexis was a state court versus Daly and Wyatt were federal courts. That I think was the thought that, Wyatt was a little different here, but for now, everyone is ineligible in that group. The Pro Bowl no longer. Rest in peace to the Pro Bowl there. Jeff Saturday snapping to Peyton Manning when they were in different conferences. That's my only non-Sean Taylor hitting the punter Pro Bowl memory.
I don't have many. The only one I remember is Sean Taylor. Rest in peace to a legend.
Gosh, he smoked that dude.
Yeah, he was good, man. He was gonna be good for a long time. I used to use him in Madden, and boy, I tell you, I put a lot of guys on IR in Madden with Sean Taylor.
Yeah, you could do some hit stick, couldn't you?
Oh yeah.
IndyCar, Milwaukee, where they are at, coming up doubleheader Saturday and Sunday, week 2 of Operation Football. We'll get you set for that. Travarius Ward, the Colts cornerback, he always is candid when he gets in front of a mic. I thought he had more of those candid comments. Want to get to that. Also, Reggie Wayne, very pleased with the growth from one wideout in his room. We'll explain that coming up as well. Fan Morning Show here on a really nice Thursday in Indy.
Today's Fox 59 Weather Authority forecast from the Armor Air Weather Center. Armor Air, we do what's right on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Increasing clouds will give way to a few light rain chances later on this afternoon. Still a lot of dry time and a high today at 83. Tonight, clearing skies and cooler. Don't forget about that lunar eclipse. A low tonight down to 60. And heading into tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, a dry day with a high at 84. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Jim O'Brien for The Fan.
Strictly bitch, you don't play around. Cover much grounds, got game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
This had to be the intro to Mark After Dark, the radio show.
It should have been. Like the ladies' man, Leon Phelps from SNL back in the... Remember that? No?
Had to have been.
Hello, ladies.
Can you imagine the sidewalks outside the radio studio just flocking, waiting for Mark.
Bras flying everywhere.
Just waiting for Mark to appear through those doors.
Coming up my velvet robe like Hugh Hefner.
Just, modern day Elvis.
One at a time.
Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, get to it. I Gotta Know. And Mark did remind me during the break that there was something I teased a day or so ago that I need to follow through on. So thank you for that reminder, Mark. We'll do that coming up 9 o'clock hour. James, we heard from Travarius Ward yesterday. He did take part in team drills, had a nice pass breakup on a ball. I think it was Laquan Treadwell thrown down the field yesterday. So he's back to practice. Missed about 3 weeks due to a back injury, back pain, I think is what it was classified as. Anytime Mooney talks, though, I always find myself very invested. A, he's been through a lot. B, he's super candid, and I think yesterday would follow through on that again.
Yeah, for sure. He told us that he had to fly somewhere to get some stuff done on his back. Didn't specify where that place was or what work he had done. But, Mark, if you have that audio ready to go, here is Mooney Ward describing his back injury and basically acknowledging that this is not going to be a quick fix.
It's going to be something I got to deal with, something I got to maintain, something I got to manage. Definitely not going to be fixed overnight or over the next couple of weeks. I just got to maintain it throughout the whole entire season. So I expect to be ready for week one. Well, I'm 100% positive. Well, I ain't going to say that, but I expect to be ready for week one for sure.
What are your thoughts, Kevin, on him initially saying in that short answer, I 100% expect to be ready? Well, I ain't going to say that, but I expect to be ready for week one.
Yeah, I'm going to say this about Mooney Ward every time we talk about him this season. You know me. I want to turn injuries off in the video game.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
There's not a, and this is going to sound odd for me to say or just like awkward, I guess, but like he is atop the list of Colts players I don't want to see down on the ground needing medical attention this season. And sure, I should probably say all 53 of them, are equally as important, but him especially. Deal with, manage, maintain back pain. I mean, James, he's a 30-year-old NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
He just suffered 3 concussions last season. There was part of me that kind of regretted not following up with him and asking, hey, do you think the back pain is in any way, shape, or form related to the concussions? I'm not here doing the operation anatomy scan, but, I feel like that general part of our bodies are kind of tied together. Maybe it's not neck, but still, that is a thought I had when he was talking about that yesterday. And it's just hard to like how do you protect him?
Yeah.
Part of me is like, well, Kevin, you can't protect anybody. It's football. And that's probably true.
Right.
I should just stop thinking about that right there. But, do you limit his snaps in any way, shape, or form? I don't, like, that doesn't seem to be something you would do at corner. I don't, the weird thing in all this, too, James, is he plays a position that if you rank the positions that have impact, like I'm talking impact in a game, it's probably one of the least impact positions.
Right.
Many times, the ball's not thrown to you unless you're involved on a run play or unless you're tackling or going up for a ball that is targeted to you. you probably avoid a lot of the collisions that other people do. So yeah, I don't love hearing any of that, I guess, to summarize it. And managing back pain for any athlete, I think, is really difficult to do. I think it's especially difficult to do when you're a 30-year-old that's had the injury history that he has had in the last 12 months and that plays a position where one little thing is wrong, you get exposed.
Absolutely.
You're out on an island with world-class athletes, and one little nick, one little tweaked ankle, and you get exposed quick.
And you already contemplated retirement already.
Sure.
Yeah, and apparently he revealed yesterday that he had kind of dealt with this last year.
Right. Yes, he did say
And
that.
it flared up on him coming into this year. So, yeah, not an encouraging development, I would say, but it was encouraging for him to at least be back out on the field yesterday, taking part in some of the team activities. And I just think that when it comes to the vision for this defense, he's such a big part of that. And if he isn't the Pro Bowl caliber cornerback you traded for, not traded for, but signed in free agency, then I think the defense could look a whole lot different.
This from John, reading between the lines from Ward, he will not play 17 games. I think he'll be lucky to get to 8 games. I hate to sound harsh, but I don't even know if I'd go to 8. You know, it's just tough to hear those comments and think in a sport that is the National Football League that he's going to be available for you.
Yeah.
Now, I would add this too, James. I think the Colts are in a better situation to potentially withstand an injury at corner this year than they were last year. First off, you have Justin Wally, and I know it sounds weird, but certainly a storyline to watch for Saturday. We still have yet to see Justin Wally play in a football game in the NFL. What is it, 600 some days it'll be Saturday?
Yeah, he's on track to play, to be clear.
Yeah, so he's going to play Saturday, but he tore his ACL early last year, hasn't played in the first 2 preseason games this year. But, you know, again, Mooney said it yesterday. The best DB in camp, or who had the best camp of any DB?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Wally. So everyone continues to sing the praises. Our eyes, I would say, back that up. So you didn't have Wally last year when
Right.
Mooney went down, when Sauce went down. You could also say they didn't even have Cam Taylor-Britt. Now, I do think Cam Taylor-Britt still is in kind of the prove-it category, but, you know, if you want a dose of optimism, I do think that is some realistic optimism. That the depth chart at corner, while I don't want to get too much deeper than that, Justin Wally at 3, Cam Taylor-Britt at 4, I do think you're in a better position potentially to withstand an injury to Sauce or Travarius than you were last year. Granted, those two are, pretty exceptional talents.
Yeah. Boy, again, I just root for the human being, and I root for the athlete as well when it comes to Travarius Ward.
So true. Mark, what did I forget to share?
You mentioned, I believe it was on Tuesday's show, that you had a list or a couple weeks of Saturdays that were pumpkin patch and apple orchard designated. And then obviously we had our fundraiser event yesterday. So I understand that got sidetracked. But I was like, we need to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
We need to get some alerts out here.
Yeah, and these are, to be clear, these will be days, Mark, that you can't go to those places.
And not.
You cannot.
Cannot.
I don't know what you need to put in the calendar. You're feeling under the weather. What you need to go ahead and throw in the calendar. But these are non-pumpkin patch apple orchard days. And knowing you're going to be at one of those next week.
Probably.
Oh, boy.
Sweating my ass off.
I told you I've got a wedding the day of Indiana, Ohio State, didn't I?
You did mention that, yeah.
What?
Yeah. IU grad is the groom.
Oh, boy. This marriage ain't getting off to the right start.
How long was this wedding date known? Was it within the championship season?
Has kickoff been announced? It's got to be Big Noon kickoff, right?
I would think so.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't.
Yeah. And that's the same day. You know me, selfishly. Notre Dame's at BYU that day. That's 14th ranked.
I was
going
to say that's another big game.
Yeah. So that's one of the weekends. That one's obvious.
Oof.
Penn State, Michigan, Alabama, Tennessee.
Yeah, that's when you neglect all responsibilities because your only responsibility is watching football.
Saturday, October 17th. Sharpie. Cross it off.
Okay.
No
That
orchard.
date again, just for those who...
Yeah. October 17th. I got a few more to throw out there. But October 17th. Can't be bobbing for apples. We can't be getting the cider. None of that. No. You purchased that earlier. getting a lot of input on the Dino Nuggets. People are backing me on this.
That's because they ain't got to eat them.
People are backing me.
These are bad people. And I hope you all listening who are backing them hear that.
I thought about buying a bag of ice, but I knew I'd already be late coming back to the segment. Washington at Purdue that Saturday night.
All right,
How about
yeah,
that
all
one?
right, relax.
Okay. Come on, is Ryan Walters still at Washington? Circle that one on the calendar.
I will not be circling that one. Sorry.
You see
That
Shane,
one doesn't do it for me, Kev.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Real sicko.
you see Shane Steichen give a little shimmy yesterday on the practice field with Keenan Allen?
I thought that was hilarious. That dude loves football.
Those two. You imagine those two talking ball? Love ball.
I can't picture. Well, I can. Keenan, Shane, and Daniel all talking ball. Boy, there must be a million light bulbs going off in that little circle.
You think Shane talks like politics or religion?
No.
Or Dino Nuggets?
No.
He's like taking the Dino Nuggets. He's like, all right, if we come out in 11 personnel and we got the Ankylosaurus here, and if we can all of a sudden get that backside one-on-one matchup here with the Bronchiosaurus.
The man was talking about coaching his son's flag football team like it was.
Oh, yeah.
I use backups like for the spring game or something.
All ball. One more time, Mark.
Ball.
That's him. Bull.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well said. Up on the other side, I would say Reggie Wayne, a little optimistic about a particular member of his wide receiver room, one that I right now would not have on the 53-man roster. So we'll share that for you. And I got to know with Mark Dykton at 9 o'clock. It is the Fan Morning Show here. Thanks for starting your Thursday with us.
In this game. Ball.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Man, we're going to dust you this weekend, Mark. 3-game set in Wrigley.
Okay.
Oh,
That's going to be child's play.
You want to
Dang.
put anything on that?
It's going to look like what IU did to James' alma mater.
Okay.
I definitely don't believe that.
Keep chirping. You want to back something up with all that
It's
talk you're
convenient
doing.
that he, always goes a little deaf in that moment.
Hey, I'm not the one that seemingly has lost every sort of game competition we've done on this show.
Well,
Whoa.
you should feel a lot more than confident.
Right.
Mark Dykton had us all of a sudden playing World Cup, drafting over here.
Hey,
He's
we had
adding
fun with
teams.
that.
Oh, you need to add a long shot team.
You like that idea. Don't dismiss it.
How'd that turn out for you?
I had fun. That's all that matters. F-U-N, that's all I had.
Gosh, that's the softest.
For you, I dropped the N, though.
That's the
Ah.
that's softer than those turds that came out of your backside in the
Excuse
backyard.
me?
What?
I need you to get your mind off my posterior.
James yesterday,
The
Reggie
kids are in
Wayne
school. Oh, boy.
met the media. He chatted about Deion Burks, 7th round pick out of Oklahoma, obviously Purdue, his first stop in college. A player that I think a lot of people were surprised why he fell so late in the draft. I think a hope there was maybe he could become a return man for the Colts. That would greatly help his status to making the team. I thought Reggie was pretty honest yesterday in saying that Deion had a rough spring, but is my most improved wideout. The mental errors that Reggie said was popping up quite frequently in the spring, those have lessened greatly, and that he feels like he's able to play to his speed. I know there weren't many catches at all in the game on Saturday. Deion Burks did have 4 of them. That doesn't include a 5th that was a really nice play that got negated due to penalty. So Deion Burks, a man that I have debated quite a lot for my 53-man roster.
Yes.
You view Reggie Wayne as speaking to Chris Bauer through the media yesterday, or do you view that as I really think he will be here come Sunday at 6 o'clock?
I think that's Reggie just defending a young guy because when I look at my roster projection, Kevin, I still have Deion Burks kind of on the fringe. And I'm trying to think if I keep, 6 receivers? We want to write them down?
Yeah. So to me, I think the first 5 are rather clear. Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Keenan Allen, Ashton Doolin. This might frustrate some people. I think it's Laquan Treadwell over Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Care to expand?
Well, Treadwell,
What's changed?
I think the staff has always liked Treadwell, and we probably should have acknowledged that a little bit more. And James, every day we're out there, who's with the first team and who's not? Treadwell.
Yeah.
And who actually had a pretty good practice yesterday?
Treadwell. I think Westbrook-Akine has kind of tapered off a little bit.
How about that deep ball Treadwell caught with Sauce and Cam Bynum crashing in on him?
Yeah, that was a legit great catch.
So I think that's 5, James. Now we get to 6. My thought has always been number 6 has got to be your punt returner.
Right.
Coleman Owen. Anthony Gould is now back to practice. I think Gould's been serviceable as a punt returner in the last couple of years.
Does it change your calculation at all that Ashton Doolin has been taking some punts?
Yeah.
Do you steal a spot there?
It's a really good point. When I heard that earlier this week, I thought to myself, that's great news for Deion Burks. Deion Burks right now on the sideline should be going like this when Ashton Doolin goes back to field punts. Go Ashton! Go Ash!
Yeah.
Come on! 16! Let's go, Doolin! Because again, Doolin's already on the team.
Right.
So if he's able to take those duties, therefore, does your 6 wideout become a little bit of a luxury, a little bit of a project, to lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Doolin looks pretty comfortable out there, but boy, there was one yesterday that hit that face mask of his, and oh boy, I just saw that and I thought to myself, oh, that makes me uneasy. So I continue to be torn on it. I'll debate this for the next 24, 48 hours in my mind.
Yeah.
Can you keep a 6 wideout and a 4th tight end? Will Mallory's got a big old wrap on that right thumb of his.
Yeah.
Is Will Mallory going to be out for the first couple games of the season? Could you put him on IR to start the year, which means he's got to miss 4 games?
But he's still within your rights. He doesn't go anywhere.
Right. These are all the nerdy, necessary debates I feel like they are having.
So, question. Have you ever gotten a 53-man roster projection correct?
No. I think I've been 51,
Okay.
maybe 52, but no.
Yeah, I think my best has been 50. But
Yeah. I don't really debate a ton. Jake Arthur was with us earlier. He mentioned running back. DJ Giddens got a lot of run yesterday at practice. So I'm debating a little bit of running back, a little bit of wide out. The good news I would say for the Colts, there doesn't appear to be too many injuries into the month of September. Like,
right.
Name a random starter for the Colts.
Jalen Travis.
Jalen Travis is not dealing with a high ankle sprain that could take him out for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season.
Right.
And that's where you kind of get into, okay, should we put him on IR? That means he misses 4. Or should we not? I remember one year they had this with Jabal Sheard. I think they had it with Anthony Costanzo. Like, there is those injuries that you do have to debate. By the way, good news. Looks like I saw Adam Schefter tweeted out earlier that Braden Smith got carted off yesterday at Texans practice.
And I did see the update, so feel free to share.
Yeah, foot injury, not season ending. Going to miss some time, plantar fasciae, but not going to be a season ending injury here. So good news. Colts play the Texans week 3 this season. So
in the rivalry jerseys.
You a fan, Mark?
I like them. Yeah, I like them.
They look a little. I haven't watched the Lions in 8 weeks this year, and all of a sudden I just turned them on during Thanksgiving, and I swear that's Jared Goff.
Yeah. No, they do have a little bit of a Lions tone to them.
I love the helmet.
That's okay. I love the helmet.
Helmet is fire.
I know a lot of people want the all whites and everything like that. I'm like, okay.
All right, scale of 1 to 10. What are you putting it?
6.8. 7.2.
Him and his decimals. How about you, Mark?
I hate the decimals. Get out of here with that.
What do you mean? Have you ever watched a gymnastics meet?
It's a man afraid of commitment when they
I've
give
seen you
decimals.
lay on your back walking in this studio. My back really hurts today. I'm like, Kevin, you're an early 30s man.
Well,
should not be having these issues.
Now you know why Rosie Bowen broke her arm doing a cartwheel.
I'm laughing. I'm sorry. You can't be doing that.
You keep on laughing at Rosie's broken arm.
No, I'm laughing at you.
She's hurt.
No,
she's had Reed running out of the tunnel.
You,
I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell nah. That's Rosie in kindergarten right now, man. Right into the left hand.
Joaquin said dominate, and we're not doing it.
I knew there was one more line, but I couldn't think of it. Oh, I love that video.
Oh, boy.
I love that video.
So, Mark, what number are you going? Please
I want a solid
spare me.
8. I'm not doing decimal points.
I'll go 8 with you.
I want the blue pants. That's what I want. I told you guys this yesterday.
Yeah.
I want the Marshall Faulk, Jim Harbaugh, blue pants.
Oh, we got Evan Sherrill here in our YouTube chat. This is controversial, Evan. He's saying all black unis, man. Come on. I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna do Indiana Knights, there should be there should be an all
fair.
black.
Yeah, the Indiana Knights uniforms are the worst ones to me. They could fire those into the sun yesterday. Don't like them at all.
Is it too bluey if I want those blue pants with the helmet that they're gonna?
Yeah.
Is it too much?
Might be a little too blue.
All
Just bring back how they had it before when they were the blue pants. I think it was what? Blue pants, white top.
I think it was
white helmet.
I think it was normal everywhere else.
Yeah, I like that.
And then someone was telling me with these ones, the rivalry ones, the horseshoe is on the jersey. Is that right?
I'd have to go back and look.
Which someone was saying that the horseshoe has never been on the jersey, which
Boy, my history of Colts jerseys is not that deep.
I know. And again, I'm not a big jersey analyzer.
Oh, they are on the jersey. They have the horseshoe on the sleeve.
Okay, I was curious where it was. Yeah, sleeve. I was thinking
pretty
sleeve
sweet.
or shoulder pad. I guess the stripes are probably there.
Yeah, it's a nice looking jersey to me, but I feel like I'm a little soft on jerseys.
I got to know in the 9 o'clock hour, I've got pumpkin patch dates that need to be Sharpied off the calendar. We'll share that for you here, 9 o'clock. Galaxy Concrete Coatings, that is indoor and outdoor concrete garages, basements, patios, porches, and sidewalks. They do a whole lot. Residential, workplace. Definitely head to their website, galaxyconcretecoatings.com. When you're there, I think it's very important to see, aesthetically, frankly, what they can offer you. We went with the Jupiter style, Galaxy Jupiter style, and we love it. Our home, about 100 years old. We needed to upgrade, period, but we also wanted to make sure the look made some sense for our home. We found that, again, with the Jupiter style sidewalk and front porch. Really efficient process. Tyler and Preston on site were great. In and out in about 24 hours. So, again, that's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. It's indoor and outdoor concrete garages, basements, patios, porches, and sidewalks. Contact them today, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
9 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Beautiful day after a little rain last night. Again, the Colts will have about an hour-long practice coming up later today. James, we'll continue to say this. Practice is, 11:45-ish, I think it is today.
Yes, sir.
As of 9:03, Alec Pierce remains on the physically unable to perform list, so we await his return to practice. You do have to make a move there before he gets back to actual practice. 1 o'clock Saturday. That is the Colts, and that is the Detroit Lions inside of Lucas Oil Stadium. Have you seen if Lions are going to play their starters at all?
I have not. I should probably check into that, but I was kind of waiting until we get through all the practice days to start looking at the other team.
I don't think they've really done that, especially offensively. Are the Lions good, Mark, or was that just a one-year wonder? And they lost the coordinators.
I think they're good. I think they had a bad year last year, but I mean they're already losing their center for the season, so that's not a great start. But I think Dan Campbell and company will rebound. I still think the NFC North will be one of, if not the toughest divisions in football, and I expect the Lions to rebound.
You're also rocking the rivalry uniforms, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bears got a little like Illini going on.
Yeah, I saw those, Mark, and I was like, that's an interesting look. I think I like the Colts a little better than the Bears, probably.
They need a little ham and high look to them.
Yeah, everybody wants the polar bear jerseys. It seems like Twitter wants the Bears to be in the all white with like the actual bear like logo, not the actual C, but the Bears logo.
Yeah,
those have been people have been AIing those things for years now. They haven't come to fruition yet.
Give a shout out to Ham and High.
Ham and High, yeah.
Shout out to the Wildcats. That school no longer exists, but had some good times there.
Hammond Morton, is that right?
Hammond Morton's still there, but they have Hammond Central now.
Hammond Central,
because Hammond High
got it
dissolved. Shout out to the Wildcats. A lot of Wildcat pride back in the day. They had some good basketball teams.
Are we still bricky bowling it up there in Hobart?
Yes. Yeah. So, dude, this is how I know when I moved to Indiana and had to work in high school sports. You could tell who was a transplant because you pronounce it Hobart when it's Hobart.
Hobart.
You say Hobart, the folks out there give you the meanest looks. Shout out to the Brickies, which I always laughed at whenever I covered a game and someone would get tackled, a few players tackled by a pile of bricks.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
But then on the basketball team, do you want to be called a Brickie? Probably not.
No. Oh, no.
So the nickname only really works for football.
Okay, Mark, get out your calendar. You ready?
Gotcha.
Okay, October 17th. And thank you to listener Sean. That Purdue-Washington game, which you guys try to disparage.
I'm not watching that.
That's a Friday night of that weekend. So October 17th, Sharpie. You can't pumpkin patch. You can't apple orchard. You can't do any of that. Because we're thinking big noon kickoff, right? For Ohio State, Indiana.
Right. So so we're writing this down. Okay.
Penn State, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame at BYU. No chance. I got two other dates,
Sounds
okay?
like heaven, but go ahead.
One's in September. September 26th. Oklahoma at Georgia. Oregon at USC. Iowa at Michigan. Texas at Tennessee. A&M at LSU.
Oh, boy.
We can't be leaving the couch.
Oh, boy.
We can't. So September 26th.
Off the list. Non-starter.
Fake COVID. Do what Jake did that one time we were in the shrimp eating contest, Mark.
Oh, God, that was such a coward.
What did he do?
He faked COVID.
It was supposed to be Kevin and Jake in the St. Elmo shrimp eating contest before the Colts Raiders game, and he tapped out, and so they had to have me come in and substitute. And it was over as soon as they said, you get a championship belt if you win. And I was like, Kevin, you can pull out all the milk out of your pocket you want. You're not winning this one.
Oh, yeah. Mark took home the dub?
I stopped at the gas station on the way down because, I don't know if I want to confide in Joey Chestnut in too many things, but I did, seek him out for, some advice here on the shrimp eating contest.
So you didn't get advice on how to slap people at bars?
No. Shout out to Joe's Bar and Grill, a great spot in Westfield. But I was told that you needed to consume milk. And so I put my milk right there on the stage, and it did not go well.
Performance-enhancing drugs is what you tried to do. That's exactly what that was.
Calling milk a PED is crazy.
September 20th.
I'll bring that championship belt in, James. You can hold it. You can touch it. You can do whatever you want.
Easy now. September 26th, October 17th, and then finale. And this is a little late. This is a post-Halloween, but you never know. We could have a good weather day. November 7th, Oregon at Ohio State, Miami at Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
Georgia at Ole Miss, Bama at LSU.
See, I feel like that should just be penciled out regardless, but not necessarily in conjunction with an apple orchard or
I
a
mean,
pumpkin
early
patch.
November, maybe you missed something. Maybe, Halloween. I don't know. Maybe you're doing early Thanksgiving.
Fair enough.
September 26th, October 17th, November 7th. Don't say I didn't warn you.
So
if you had to rank these in your pen,
I was going to ask this.
paper,
Yes.
pencil, or Sharpie,
Like,
which one's the
we
one
might
you're-
not be able to. I mean, listen, we had a wide listening audience. They may not be able to negotiate all three of these.
Yeah.
I'm
But
saying
you gotta
November
give
1st
'em,
is the
you know,
pencil
some
date.
options.
That's the date where you're already past Halloween. That better be already done anyway. That's the pencil date.
The November 7th.
Yeah, that one you better have gotten your pumpkin patch.
So that's
and
number
orchard.
3.
That
But
should have
isn't
been,
that the best slate?
right? But all those activities should have already been taken care of at that
Yeah,
point.
but you never know, man. You get in November and sometimes like, oh, let's get together. I don't know. Nowadays with weather, man, that could be a good little weather day.
Okay, well then let's hear your.
If I'm
order.
going strictly off of the games, do I need to be biased? Do I need to speak locally?
No, whatever you think is
Well,
the best slate. The
I think you
can't-miss
should
weekend.
speak locally.
Okay, so speak locally.
Yeah.
Don't act like I'm living in SEC country
exactly.
or whatever. Okay. October 17th is where I'd start.
Okay.
Same weekend I got the wedding. That's where I'd start.
This is
feel
where
like
you
that-
have to ask, how close of a friend are you?
Yeah.
If you don't show up, does
You're not
anybody notice or
standing
care?
up, are you?
No.
You're not reading off the wrong thing, right? Didn't that happen to you?
Oh God, are we gonna relitigate this again?
Yeah.
That was when, and not my fault.
No,
It was
no,
simply
no.
Reading
It
the
is
piece
his
of
fault.
paper that was given
It
to me,
is his fault. Yep.
I read that the alive grandma in the front row was dead.
Yeah. That was a Kevin Vaughn mistake. All his.
And then she tripped me on the dance floor later that night.
blame
Deservedly
her.
so.
And she said, you
Yeah.
want to be dead.
Yeah. Here, I got you a drink. Good luck. Next thing you know, I'm in the porter potty for a half hour.
Shoveling unthawed dino nuggets in your mouth.
October 17th is where I start.
Okay.
Ohio State, IU, Notre Dame, BYU.
Yeah, definitely.
What else we got? Something Bama, something else that's great. Then I'm going November 7th next.
Okay.
Oregon, Ohio State. I think in our preseason rankings, that's like 1-2 or 1-3 or something.
Yeah.
Miami, Notre Dame will go down as probably one of the bigger home games Notre Dame has had in quite some time, especially if Miami is as good as people think they will.
Yeah, and we're later into the season too, so playoff implications and things like that.
And then again, I mean, Georgia, Ole Miss, are those the two best SEC teams? Trinidad Chambliss still there, and then Bama against Kiffin.
Okay.
But when I say all this, I'm still when do we get Kiffin back at Ole Miss? That's early in the year, right?
Yeah, whatever date that is, I'm definitely tuning in because I
that's our
got to see this level of hate.
That's our game of the year, right? In college football.
Do we count it as game of the year before we see all the games? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but like,
There's
there's going to be some epic game where we're
that's
like,
our
that's the game of the year.
preseason game
Okay, preseason game of the year. Yeah, I think
of the year.
just because of all the animosity,
It's September 19th.
the security is going to be through the roof for this game.
Man. Boy, do I need to add September 19th to the schedule?
Again, I feel like our listeners can't really go
Well,
to the
hopefully
missus
that'll
or
be
the
a
mister
night
and say
game,
that.
Mark. Oh, it is 7:30. I'm already seeing it right here.
Yeah, it'd be dusk by then.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, get up, be a family man.
Oh, and then look, you can stay up late that night for Purdue at UCLA, 11 o'clock.
I'm already going to sleep thinking about it.
The late kickoff times. We discussed this before.
After you rocked the IU national title shirt when we had Barry Odom on last Thursday. Hell, it was this time last Thursday.
I'm so glad you told me because that shirt would have stayed on. I kid you not. I
Hey,
just
Coach.
woke up and grabbed the shirt.
Mark, time for an I Gotta Know.
He's got questions.
How about a game?
They've got answers.
Hey, I'm more of a cornhole man myself.
Sports, music, movies. What? High fashion.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
And everything in between.
Have you ever seen a foot with 4 toes?
It's time to get a glimpse into the mind of Mark Dykton.
Stop it, you're scaring me.
It's time for I Gotta Know.
Okay, you two punks, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
All right, boys. What is your biggest Colts take heading into the regular season? Good, bad, maybe individual player, maybe team-wise. Your biggest
Okay, I
Colts
got one.
take.
If the Colts don't win in Jacksonville, they will not make the playoffs. That's my take. Haven't done it in years. Hell, some would say forever. If you don't win in Duval County, just start booking your vacation then.
Boy, part of me thinks that week 3 game. Honestly, the game they're wearing the rivalry jerseys. Colts Texans at home. Week 3. If Latu is a Pro Bowler, this team will play a meaningful game in the month of January.
Are we talking about official Pro Bowler or Pro Bowl alternate?
Official Pro Bowler.
You need to clarify now.
Okay.
Official Pro. We don't have alternates, right?
All right.
We're done with Pro Bowl.
We're done with alternates.
Alternates, yes.
You're correct.
With yesterday's news, we're done with Pro Bowl alternates. So yes, if he is a Pro Bowler, this team will play a meaningful game in January for the first time since Phillip Rivers' COVID Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Is Keenan Allen an upgrade over Michael Pittman Jr.?
Ooh, that's a good question.
When it's all said and done at the end of 2026, will we look back and say that actually was an upgrade? Late off season edition. How do you figure?
I'm going to say no, but not because Keenan Allen is like washed. I just think that Michael Pittman Jr. is also very underrated as a run blocker.
Yeah.
Like that dude gets down and dirty.
I think that's a good point. You know, I'll go back to yesterday's practice, and I don't want to make too much out of one day. We've seen Keenan Allen practice with the Colts for really 2 days, but you know, compared to how I saw this offense perform without Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, a little bit of Tyler Warren at times during camp, watching the offense move the football yesterday with Keenan Allen catching 6 of the 19 passes, it was like, oh wow, that dude is certainly an upgrade over what they had. Man, I've always been more of a Pittman guy than most.
That's why I'm rolling with Pitt.
Yeah. I'm going to say no, but I feel like people really don't acknowledge Michael Pittman Jr. and Benedict Mathurin as much as they should. They're 2 very different players, but I think they act like those dudes just grow on trees.
We're going to find out this season.
Sure.
Or both of them.
Is Keenan Allen a one and done with the Colts?
I'll say yes.
Yeah, I mean, gosh,
1-year deal, 34-year-old.
35?
A lot can change in a year. A lot. For the team and for the player. So I'm going to say this is a 1-year rental. Get us to the playoffs and just see how it goes.
He got 4 young kids, I believe. I mean, I don't, pretend to know too much about his family outside of that. But, hey, do you want them, whatever, away for another year or bring them to Indiana for you for another year? Again, I'll go back to the stat I brought up when they signed Keenan Allen. It's pretty rare air, like what he's trying to do. In the last 3 years, Adam Thielen's the only NFL wideout that age to eclipse 200 yards. So, again, it's one thing to play football, period, at that age. It's another thing to do at the receiver position and produce. These Little League World Series games, is this live? Is this 9:16 a.m. live?
I don't know. I mean, the crowd attendance would tell you it is, but I have no idea. It's
Either
also
way,
Nicaragua against Japan, so I don't know.
Oh, we're watching Ohio and Iowa.
Oh, well, I've got a different game on then. Okay,
There's
anyway.
Mark clicking on stuff again. Go ahead.
I haven't touched the TV. It's been on ESPN2 or whatever it's been on all night. All right, you mentioned it to Jake Arthur, and it got me curious. Your toughest position for the Colts to trim down is what?
Jake said running back. I might go O-line.
Okay. I'll switch it up and say D-line. I just think that there's not a whole lot of names there that really stick out to me, but also Chris Ballard loves his D-line. He loves the trenches. So guys that I don't think should probably make the team, they might sneak in just because he wants depth.
Timeout. Did you guys see this text we got from this listener relaying a message from his wife?
No.
He sends a conversation that he just sent to his wife. September 26th, October 17th, November 7th are the best college football days of the year. Don't book me for anything. Smiley face emoji. The wife responds, I got you, exclamation point, putting chili on the menu.
Look at that. Wife of the year.
Yeah. That's love right there.
I mean, boy.
That's what I need to find in his life.
Mark, you said wife of the year, and boy, Ashley Dykton, Maddie Bowen. Oh, man.
99.9% of the guys send that text off. They're not, the locks are changed on the house when they get back.
How about
now,
that?
Now I'm more interested because I'm like, okay, do you have kids? Because, that factors into, the activity you do on the weekend.
James Boyd, find you one of those.
I know. I'm out here.
Find you one of those.
I'm trying. That's awesome.
That's unbelievable.
Boy. Gosh.
I could not get away with that, I don't think.
That's beautiful.
Sorry,
Mark, to interrupt.
No,
I thought that
that's
text
okay.
was too good.
That's interrupt worthy. All right, a current pet peeve you guys have, whether it's sports or otherwise. What's pissing you off right now?
Ooh, what's annoying me right now? That's a good question.
That's good. I don't really love the whole 96 Meridian thing. That was really bothering me at Grand Park, having to drive around that all the time. But traffic would be such an easy one for me to say.
You know what? I'm trying to think a little bit harder about this, but I would say what's annoying me is just all of the convoluted eligibility talk in college sports.
Yes, very good.
Every day I wake up and I truly do try to like be informed when we get here on the radio. And for the most part, we are, because we cover these teams. We're around these teams a lot in our local area. And even the national stuff, it's easy to follow 99% of the time. But this 1% with this college football and basketball eligibility stuff, every day there's a new injunction or some new legislation that's just confusing me from the day before. So I'm trying to read stuff and catch up and inform you all. But I feel like every time that I get informed, whatever I just learned 12 hours ago isn't true anymore. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
I feel like mine is more personal, but it's the wedding related to my brother. I'm ready for it to get over with because they keeps throwing all these like, well, after the wedding, what do you want to do after the wedding? We want to go out to the bars or something like that? Or you want to get breakfast the next day? I'm like, brother, I don't know what my state is going to be. Let's get through this reception first. Let's figure that out afterwards. But I'm getting all these game plans of afterwards. Are we staying in town longer? I'm like, let's go for the main goal here. Let's get through that, and then we'll go from there.
I'd add mosquitoes to the list. I feel like they're biting me more than normal. Did I tell you guys I got stung by a bee in the final segment yesterday?
No. Right in the hand?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Right here in the middle finger.
Oh, well, didn't happen to me, so.
All right, finally, what are we watching? If you guys need to marinate for a second, we watched Jury Duty Season 2. It's on Amazon Prime.
How good is Jury Duty?
That sounds like a mess.
It's a company retreat one, so it's nothing to do with Jury Duty this year, but it's like a spin-off. But they did a company retreat with a company that this guy's a temp for. It was outstanding.
Okay.
It was so good. We watched it, and then the one that's on the list that's going to probably get watched later today after the show, the new Untold came out, the testimony of Vince Young. I love the Untold series on Netflix. I am looking very much forward to that.
That series is really good. I was too tired last night. I told Matty Bowen, let's save Ted Lasso for tonight.
Okay.
Wednesdays, right?
I think that's when we watched last week's. We haven't watched this one yet.
So that'll be on the docket here coming up tonight.
I watched Lanterns, the new Green Lantern show on HBO. Last week, that was the first episode. I was partway through episode 2 last night, so that's what I'm watching at the moment. Pretty good. I like it.
We got people in YouTube chat. My wife would have the same reaction. She's the best. My wife always asks before scheduling something in the fall. Man!
I mean, these guys chose well. Also, I think it probably helps if your wife likes sports. Like, I don't want to make that like a stereotype,
Yeah,
but
and
my
honestly-
mom likes sports, so my dad gets away with a whole lot of stuff.
And I do think Matty Bowen's a seasonal fan. Like, she's like, oh, it's fall. I like football on
Yeah.
TV wise.
I could also see, like, if you don't have younger kids either, because I feel like younger kids, you got to make the memories every weekend and, all that stuff. So,
Yeah,
that
making
also-
memories. Have you ever watched College Game Day?
I know. Trust me.
Oh,
I've
my
tried.
gosh. Say no more. We need a quick morning check down.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Final practice of the week for the Colts. Will Alec Pierce participate? We await that again. Saturday, preseason finale, Colts and Lions. Anthony Richardson for a quarter. Riley Leonard will get the second quarter. Easton Stick, the second half. For those carrying, sounds like some starters will play. James, you might need to debate that coming up. I'm a little skeptical on how many will play. Fever tomorrow night. They've got the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun do not put the basketball in the hoop very well.
No, the Sun has set on that team this season. They are the second worst team in the WNBA record-wise. This is a good opportunity for the Fever to get a win before the Fever break and continue to climb and try to get into that top 4 for playoff positioning, because the top 4 teams get home court advantage in round 1 of the playoffs.
Week 2 Operation Football, we'll get you set for that. Another Football Friday for us coming up tomorrow. Tonight, Indy Marion, like that local matchup here, Key Stadium. I believe it's a 6 o'clock kick. You've got Butler at home on Saturday. They'll get things started here in kind of the week 0 before we get into our bigger schools coming up next week. Milwaukee for IndyCar, the final oval of the year doubleheader. I think Alex Palou just needs to show up and turn some laps and should be fine to clinch the season series. As James said, could not agree more. Eligibility is exhausting trying to read this on a daily basis. For now, the big names in Bloomington are ineligible. Stephen Daly, Kellen Wyatt, we knew that earlier in the week. But again, they were more in the federal court. We saw on the basketball side of it, Sam Alexis ineligible. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Sam Alexis play in some summer league games?
Yes.
So wouldn't he fall into the boat of professional?
Again, don't ask me about this because I don't understand the rules.
Yeah. Because again, you know me. As soon as you rookie minicamp, as soon as you summer league it, as soon as you do anything with a professional sports team, to me, you should be done. But those are my 2 cents on the topic. Benedict Mathurin of the New Orleans Pelicans, 2-year, $16 million, very similar to the Kelly Oubre deal, a player option for that second year. And, of course, Pacers Pelicans will open up the season coming up here October 21st, if I have that date correct. And the Pro Bowl is dead, James Boyd.
Yes, rest in peace. But at the same time, is anybody really going to miss it? Probably not.
We've done flag football for the last few years, so they are doing none of this. They will still honor Pro Bowlers with no alternates, which I do agree with. I think that kind of adds a little bit more, I don't know, sanctity to the honor there. So they will name the 88 Pro Bowlers via third fan vote, third player vote, third coach vote. That will continue, but the Pro Bowl game or flag football game or skills competition, done with that. Coming up on the other side, speaking of games, I know, James, you enjoy a little hoop action. We're raising money. Great cause here. 3-on-3 tournament. Gus Macker, ring a bell for anyone? A lot of memories, I know, for people down that. We'll chat about that, hear more about a great fundraiser here at the IU Simon Cancer Center.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
It's funny, James. Earlier in the show, I mentioned the phrase Gus Macker. And I feel like when you say something like that, it stirs up a lot of young sports memories for people. Kirk reached out earlier and said, I played in the Gus Macker way back in the Hoosier Dome parking lot days. Well, fast forward here to 2026. Gus Macker is back, and most importantly, it's for a great, great cause. The IU Simon Cancer Center does many wonderful things in trying to raise money. Certainly the Chuck Strong Gala. We've had Chuck Pagano on many times to talk about that in the spring. And we've got this coming up October 3rd and 4th. And let's head to the hotline right now. Easily the most educated person we've ever had on this show. Dr. Gregory Durham is with us here. Doctor, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin James. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And once I saw that you have education from Notre Dame, I just said, this man knows everything in the world. And you could honestly probably start for Notre Dame hoops right now, James. That's kind of where we're at. But we got the Gus Macker tournament coming up October 3rd and 4th, if I'm seeing the dates right. Grand Park, that is PAC, the Pacers Athletics Center. Dr. Durham, what do we need to know? We've got money here being donated to the IU Simon Cancer Center.
Absolutely. So this event, as you mentioned, it's put on with our partner Gus Macker. It's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. If you've never heard of Gus Macker, it's been ongoing for 50-plus years. Had a little hiatus from Indiana. I played in several of these back in the day, but is making a comeback as our partner for this event. The goal here is to create a fun and community event so that Hoosiers can come out and do what we love, which is to play basketball and to help our neighbors, but also to raise money for cancer research. So all the proceeds from this tournament are going to go directly to cancer research at the IU Simon Cancer Center.
And again, this is Dr. Durham, kind enough to join us here to talk about the Gus Macker tournament coming up in October. Brother, I am so annoyed with this, and the only reason I'm annoyed with this is because I'll be overseas for the Colts game, because otherwise I'd play in this. You know, me and JMV like to get it in and hoop. But I'm looking at the some of the rules here. So the event is open for players ages 8 and up, so I'm assuming that they'll be split up. You know, I mean, I like to get wins whenever I can, but there's not going to be a grown man going up against an 8-year-old, is he?
No, they'll divide them up by age and skill level. I also going to need to be in the old man division, so I think they're going to divide this up and make it fair for everyone so that everyone has a good experience.
Again, Dr. Gregory Durham with us here. We're talking about the Gus Macker tournament, October 3rd and 4th. Entry fees I'm seeing here, $200 per team. Registration currently open to the first 100 teams. And also, if you can't hoop for whatever reason or you don't want to hoop, we need volunteers. So more than 100 volunteers are also needed to help. Again, think scorekeeping, event setup, things like that as well. Dr. Durham, plenty of people have reached out with kind of their memories of their days in Gus Macker. You are an Elwood native, if I'm not mistaken. Your memories of Gus Macker are what from back in the day?
Oh, my gosh. I played a lot when I was probably 10 to 15 years old. Just playing ball with friends that I grew up with in Elwood. I can't even remember all the Gus Macker tournaments we played in, a number of different parking lots. I don't think I ever played in the Hoosier Dome one, as you mentioned, but, I just remember spending a whole weekend, hooping on the asphalt and trying to take home that trophy. I think, played in one when I was a little bit older, but it's been quite some time, so I'm really happy this event is coming back and Gus Macker's making a comeback in Indiana.
Could you share a little bit about, I believe, lung cancer researcher is kind of where your specialty is. Could you share a little bit about like what these funds do? I know when we have Chuck Pagano on in the spring and we talk about IU Simon Cancer Center and of course his bout with leukemia now, 15 years ago at this point, and he shares those stories. So specifically, like what is this money helping you do from a research standpoint?
Yeah, that's a great question. So cancer research, it's complicated. It takes a whole spectrum of people, from those at the bench, working on cell cultures and animal models, developing new drugs, finding new compounds and targets, all the way up through the clinic. And so, we need funding to do these early experiments so that we can identify the next big drug that's coming through. We need funding to help fund some of these clinical trials that we run in our clinics every day that help our patients. We need funding for the staff that make make it possible to run these trials because it takes a number of people to keep track of all these things so our patients remain safe, so that we get all the data entered correctly, and so that when these drugs finally do hopefully reach the end of their study period, that we can get that published and out to the public so that we can get these drugs out to the patients that need them. So it really helps at a huge number of levels. And thankfully, I'm lucky enough to work at Indiana University where we have over 350 cancer investigators all the way from the bench to the bedside who are conducting this research, and all of them could use this funding to sort of help our neighbors and our family members and our friends.
Again, that's the voice of Dr. Greg Durham, the honorary head coach of the Gus Macker tournament coming up here in October. Last one I got for you, Greg. A lot of us, when we are young, we have our hoop dreams, especially here in the Hoosier State. They don't go on to become doctors. So how did you get into that lane, and what was it about cancer research that really compelled you to want to study that and obviously try to help restore and save a whole bunch of lives?
Yeah, I grew up in a family with a whole bunch of incredible nurses, aunts, grandmother. My mother was a nurse, so I was around healthcare my whole life. Unfortunately, all of us have been touched by cancer. Almost every family, someone has been afflicted by this terrible disease, and so. As I grew up and I saw that, and I saw the difference my family was able to make in healthcare, and then I did some shadowing experiences when I was younger and absolutely loved it. And so, I really wanted to give back. I was also fortunate enough, growing up in a small town in Indiana, to derive so much support from my community and my friends. And my dream was to come back and serve Indiana and to serve the Hoosiers that sort of supported me when I was coming up through. So, all of those things kind of came together. The science of cancer is very interesting and changing very rapidly, and we're able to make a big difference. And so that was also a big part of why I chose to be a part of this. And Indiana University gives me the great opportunity to do that every day.
So again, October 3rd and 4th, this will be at the Pacers Athletic Center up there at Grand Park. You can certainly register from a team standpoint, or if you want to, volunteers are needed as well. And again, Dr. Gregory Durham with us here on the hotline. Doctor, we can't thank you enough for making time for us. And most importantly, as you said, we love to play ball. We love to help neighbors. And this is obviously a great, great cause. So thank you for what you're doing for this. We'll continue to keep people abreast of the info. And good luck, and knock down some shots coming up there in early October.
Thanks so much. I'll try, guys.
Dr. Gregory Durham right there on the hotline. Gus Macker, man. I mean, those things... That's some real ball.
No, I was going to say you get some real competition in there. That's why I was asking,
Hoopers.
What about the age limit? Because you know me, I don't discriminate. I was going back to some old clips the other day of our show, Kevin, because I think it popped up on Facebook or something like that. And I remember you were showing me, I don't even think I knew you all that well yet. And you were showing me a picture of Max Bowen at like basketball practice or something. And you were showing off how he was holding the ball. And I just immediately told you I'd give him 30. And so, you know me, I get my wins where I can.
I do. I need to start bringing that back up to him for some motivation.
Just show him James's golf swing. Like, you can't beat him.
To be honest, I think that Max would definitely, at his age right now, have a better golf swing than I.
We're into the next year of soccer. We're now playing soccer here in the fall. First practice on Tuesday night. We're in a league with all fruit names.
Okay, I kind of like that.
Back in the spring, he used the limes, for example. Most obscure fruit you can imagine is his fruit.
Dragon fruit or something?
Like, I'm thinking, like, can't we,
papaya.
Let's go raspberries.
Yeah.
Let's go apples. Whatever. We're the freaking pomegranates.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to lie. That sounds like a loser.
I mean,
that's a lame name.
What, you want us all put our hands in and chant that?
Yeah, that's...
Go pomegranates.
Yeah, no. See, that sounds like you're going to get lose by about 10 goals.
Purple jerseys. I mean, go purple palms. I mean, what are we doing
Purple
here?
palms is crazy.
Go palms, go.
For a team that struggled to find the
Yeah,
net
I'm going to
last
say,
year,
how
that
many
new
teams?
name
Is this
not
like the Gus
helping.
Macker tournament where you got 100 teams in here and you're running low on fruit names? I mean, what kind of name is that?
I'm coaching with my brother-in-law. I texted him before the season started. I go over under 11, and we got 8 games. I go over under 11.5 goals we scored this year. He goes 5.5.
How did that name get decided? Was that given to you
Given
guys?
to us. Yeah. You think I'm? Well, so this is what I do, Mark. You know,
You need a new commissioner.
I'm thinking to myself here. Okay, you know what? I mean, I don't know much about a freaking pomegranate. Like, what? Lord knows my diet hasn't eaten one of those. So I stopped at the grocery the other day. I'm gonna find one. I'm like, okay, let's see if there's one in here, and I can show it to the team at the first practice. You think they have one?
No.
No. I'm asking the guy in the produce. He's like, those things are rare, and right now the season for them is not very abundant. So good luck.
Very fitting for what the soccer season is going to show.
I was like, if this is a fortune telling of what the next 8 games are going to be, boy.
So the goal was to bring the pomegranate and show the kids, this is what you are.
Yeah.
You are this.
Oh, yeah.
This is you.
I was going to cut it open and everything.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
even for a kid, I feel like the last fruit they would want to eat is a pomegranate.
1,000%.
Oh, jeez.
What's
I'm
your
disappointed.
colors? It's like a
Purple. I
deep
told you,
red,
purple.
deep purple.
Yeah.
Purple, yeah. Which I look online and it looks a little pinkish to me, but what the hell do I know? Clearly, not much. We'll do it one final time here. Fan Morning Show on a Thursday. Indy Group Campus in Avon. It is one-stop shop, 4 different brands: Toyota, Nissan, Volkswagen. How about the Kia brand? They've got their summer sticker sales event still going on. That's live. You could win $750 off that summer sticker sales price. So you got to love that. And again, one thing about the Kia brand, tons of inventory, really strong convenience on site for you. Telluride is a very popular model. K4, a little smaller, but some nice gas mileage on that, and a very strong warranty. So that is the Kia brand, and this is the great thing about the Andy Moore Group campus in Avon. Yes, you have Kia, but you also have Volkswagen, you also have Toyota, and you also have Nissan. It's one campus. It's 4 different brands. It's a great one-stop shop ready for you. Car shopping can be stressful. This is made easy. One campus right there off of Rockville Road. It's the Andy Moore Group campus in Avon. Tell them Kevin Bowen sent you.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Man, shout out to listener Cole. Shout out to his wife, Betsy. Guys, that's love. That's partnership. That's sacrifice. James Boyd, get you some.
Hey, man. Let me know if she's got any siblings.
Well, that one's sitting on a platter for me, but I won't say anything after how Mark responded to me earlier in the week. But no,
dang, I got this comment from Daniel from Shelby. James, a little research would have informed you that no 8-year-old is going to play against grown-ass men. Well, yeah, that's called a joke, Daniel. Lighten up, brother. I mean, good Lord.
In reference to our Gus Macker.
Yeah, I mean, good. My goodness. Well, jeez.
So earlier in the show, we had relayed some dates that you want to stray away from family. Well, I shouldn't say family, but yeah, family, I guess. Pumpkin patch, apple orchard, those sorts of fall activities. I mentioned the dates: September 26th, October 17th, November 7th. Listener Cole, Notre Dame fan, no shock there. He sends us a screenshot of his text conversation with his wife. He lists the dates and he goes, "They are the best college football days of the year. Don't book me for anything." Smiley face emoji. The wife responds, "I got you!" Exclamation point. Putting chili on the menu.
That sounds pretty sweet, I'm not going to lie.
Man, Cole, that is the life. I'd ask what's for dessert, but damn. How about that for Cole? Now that's a partnership. That's sacrifice. He's got 2 other sisters, but they're all married, James.
Swing and a miss.
Back to Tinder for you.
People still use Tinder?
Oh, man, that is great. Gosh, that's great.
Say, Mark, can you pipe down over there before Kevin starts going down the old family tree again?
I know.
I learned my lesson.
This glass ain't that thick. I can easily get in there.
Hour-long practice for the Colts upcoming today. 11:45. We will hear from Shane Steichen. I mentioned to you earlier, James, okay, how many starters are going to play? Let's start on offense. Saturday, 1 o'clock. Anthony Richardson is starting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not going to have a single skill player with him that starts. No Jonathan Taylor. No Alec Pierce. No Josh Downs. No Tyler Warren. I guess he'll have the starting O-line with him.
Yeah, and honestly, Kevin, that might be the biggest way or best way to evaluate these guys, because both him and Riley have been running for their lives behind the second stringers.
So again, starting O-line, but probably no skill players. Okay, let's go over to defense. Is DeForest Buckner playing?
I kind of want him to if he's healthy. I mean,
Sauce Gardner?
Yeah, put him out there.
Mooney
I'm saying
Ward,
you got to be out there for a long time, but
Mooney Ward said yesterday that don't expect him.
Yeah.
To be playing. So those would probably be the 2 on defense. The other 2, watching practice yesterday, it's just a reminder of if I had to redo my indispensable Colts list, I think I'd put Cam Bynum as one of the top 5, no questions asked. Now that he's the signal caller of that defense, I'm putting Cam Bynum super high on the indispensable list.
Absolutely. And honestly, you talk about playing this upcoming Saturday, I think he should play so he can get his first in-game reps of wearing the green dot and what it's like. I know he's done it in practice, but he was even saying in practice, Lou will keep talking to him, whereas in a game, you only get, 20 seconds, 15 seconds?
Yeah, it cuts off at 15, right?
Yeah, so you got a 40-second play clock, cuts off 15 seconds left, so get those reps in too.
What is the line of demarcation, you think, for Shane Steichen when it comes to starters playing on Saturday? Where does he draw the line? This guy, no. This guy, yeah.
I mean, he said no Daniel and no Jonathan Taylor on Tuesday.
Right, but how deep are you going after that?
There's got to be a few more. I mean, again, Mooney Ward's basically saying no. I would think Sauce Gardner and DeForest Buckner have earned the right to say yes or no. Do you need to see Grover Stewart? He didn't practice yesterday for what it's worth. Latu? I would think Latu, yes, but still.
I also feel like, though, but if you're saying starters are playing outside of these guys, if you start saying, but also these guys too, it's just well, is it just Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, or are you all of a sudden you have all these other guys too not playing? No.
I did want to mention, again, we had the Gus Macker chat last segment, raising money for the IU Simon Cancer Center. The website there is cancer.iu.edu. You slash that, Gus Macker. cancer.iu.edu/Gus Macker. So that's where you can help. Again, 200 teams is what they're hoping for, or I think 100 teams is what they're hoping for. And then volunteers as well, October 3rd and 4th. So thank you to Dr. Gregory Drum for joining us. But, James, you will be out in London, overseas.
I know. I actually seriously would have played in this. I think that this would have been a lot of fun. And maybe there'll be other opportunities to get out there with the community. But either way, I can still donate. I plan on donating. And for those who are interested, I'm sure there's many ways you can still get involved and help those who have been affected by cancer.
You busting that suit out again for London, or you got a new one in the
Should I get a new one, boys? My mom always compels me to, like, whenever I go overseas, it's kind of like a tradition now where, like, you got to get a new suit. So I got to figure out what color. And honestly, it's a way for me and my mom. My dad, he just get something that fits and, look sharp. Well, my mom enjoys the suit shopping trips. So if I can sneak back home between now and then, I'm sure she'd love to tag along as I try on a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I thought you just shop on Regent Street. You just go over there in London.
I don't know. I feel like that would give me a lot of stress trying to find a suit like in a day in London. Although that sounds like it'd be kind of fun though.
You imagine?
Yeah, I could imagine.
A little swanky action for you there.
Yeah.
Again, final practice of the week for the Colts. They've bumped everything up a day with their Saturday preseason finale. Tomorrow, the Fever will play the Connecticut Sun. That is a 7:30 tip inside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. They are a 16.5-point favorite in this one. I knew the Sun were bad, James. I didn't know they were that bad. They lost by 25 last night to the Valkyries at home.
Yeah. They're the second worst team in the league record-wise, so this should be a win for the Fever and, more importantly, a win for the standings when it comes to the Fever.
So, again, that'll be it for them. Then they'll take a multiple-week break, the FIBA break in the W schedule. That means Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Stephanie White, a member of the Team USA staff, over to Berlin, I believe is where those games will be. And tomorrow will be another Football Friday. Dominic Miranda's energy at 7:30. Greg Rakestraw's legendary status at 8. The great Matt Taylor at 9. That will be the lineup for you here as we get set for not only a Football Friday, but also those Colts roster cuts coming on Sunday. Those are due by 6 o'clock, 90 to 53. I'm Kevin Bowen, James Boyd, and Mark Dykton. We're signing off.